All right, welcome everyone back to the Stones of Fame. Before we kind of get underway, I'm going to give a shout out those of you who are kind of tuning in on the Twitch feed. We had some D&D gifts come out to me actually from some friends in the area. I've got this lovely D20 coaster for the evening. There's some other gifts that made it around here as well that might just end up in the streams here soon. Joining us. This is Stones of Faerûn. It is a Dungeons and Dragons 5th epic played on Discord and Roll20. And it's currently streamed out to you on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. I'm Windy J, and all of our group are joining in from all over North America. If you wanted to see some updates for or the journal for the game so far, then you can go to our website, stones.windyjmusic.com, and you can actually check out some of the previous episodes as well that are all available there via YouTube. In our game, where we left off last, we had arrived Melvant with Marisol kind of leading the way on this one, as she was interested in trying to find out what had happened with her family. Last she had heard from a colleague by the name of Chab was that her home had been ransacked. So as they arrived at the home, they found that it had not only been ransacked but abandoned. And as the party started to kind of go through the building and clean it up to almost Marisol's standard of cleanliness, a little bit of curiosities for everybody found in here, including perhaps some left behind on tables by whoever it was that ransacked the building before. The most recent was a set of keys in a hidden cavity in the main master suite that Marisol, having even been in that room many times before, did not even know existed. And finding these keys kind of showed these to the rest of the group. Showing this to the rest of the group, Roman and Autumn happened to notice a few more guests of just walking around the side of the building. And that is where we're going to pick up. Joining us, this is the Stones of Faerûn.
Inside my shop.
All right, so first thing, there's a couple of things we need to go over real quick first to make sure everybody's on the same page. Marisol, you still have those keys in your hand, right?
Indeed.
And what the last thing that you guys heard was Serge say something to the shit, here we have company. And Autumn and Roman will happen to have noticed these people on the outside of the building, just barely, through the window. Is there anything in particular you guys are going to do as an immediate reaction to what you hear Serge shout out?
Yeah. I am going to take advantage of my Mask of Many Faces ability.
Okay.
And kind of pull it to an extreme here. In the spell description, it says that I can make myself seem 1 foot taller or shorter. And I can appear thin, fat, or in between. Can I myself height addition, so make myself a foot taller, and then make myself look as quite a bit more muscular than I actually am?
You can certainly make the attempt at the illusion, whether or not that's yet to be seen.
Well, I don't know if they saw me through the window. I know they definitely saw Odom looking at him.
That is true.
But even if they did see me, I don't know if they would have gotten a good enough look to be able to tell. So we're going to try it. Yeah, I'm going to use disguise myself, and I'm going to do those things and see how that goes.
Okay. Now this lasts for an hour. Okay.
Yes.
I also would like to do something.
Okay, what would you like to do to Autumn? Because prep round right now by the looks of things.
Yep. Well, I want to cast a spell. But I need to know some specs before I cast it here.
For sure.
How far away can I see out of this window?
You can see there is a building approximately 20 feet away to the basically directly. And so you can see a little bit out into the street and out to the side of that building. But that's pretty much as far as you can see. If you were to peer around a little bit more, you might be able to see a little bit more towards the back of the building, a little bit more out to the street, depending on the way angle you look. But it's a pretty good window.
Can I see the front here?
Well, the challenge is that you're pretty short, and so you can see where people would be, but you can't necessarily see the ground if that's what you're going for.
Would I be able to see enough to Misty Step?
That you could.
I'm gonna be Misty Stepping out of the building.
Okay. Is there anything else anybody else would like to do?
I am standing to my feet and like just the biggest scowl on my face and saying, "What is it fucking now?"
Okay. Beltris, anything in particular you wanted to do?
Not at the moment. I'm still trying to get stuff set up. I'm not using my stuff. I'm over at a buddy's.
Okay, no worries.
I believe cart at the moment. I don't know which side of the building that's on.
Veltris is actually at the front door, kind of keeping watch. Surge is going to tuck just inside the door, and that's all that Surge is going to do at this point in time. I guess we would call this bonus action hide, if you will. With that, I think we will roll initiative, because as Autumn and Roman do see, these individuals definitely look as though they're armed and ready for combat. So let's go ahead and roll initiative. When you do this, you want to roll initiative by clicking on your token first, and then rolling your initiative. Let's see here. Let's do this one here. All right, there we go. So let's see some of those initiatives pop up here.
I have a feeling my plan is not gonna work since so many people are going before me. That's a yikes. I mean, at least in Donnie's dice, just saying similar to how she normally rolls.
Apparently, the curse just continues. It's the sheets, not the player.
Oh, I'm having a wee bit of a load on my computer apparently right now, so let's do this so that it's easier for me to get to these.
As I totally forgotten, Donnie's like under the fucking stairs.
Yeah,
at the
she's
moment,
like
so,
stuck in between. Yeah, she's like what, like between a wood pile and a wall right now, or something
Yeah,
like that.
pretty
No,
much.
underneath
she's
the
under the
stairs.
stairs.
Yeah, and she might not have any clue what's going on here at all either right now. Let's see
Well,
here. Let's do this.
I think all she knows is that Surge said that there's company, and that's probably it.
I don't know that I've heard.
Oh, I don't. Oh,
Perception
yeah, because
checks
of
for
where the
round. There we go.
yeah, because of where the stairs.
All right. Okay, so let's get Surge's roll up here too. Surge on your initiative, and then we're gonna get this one up as well. And this one up as well.
I love reading the words cult fanatic. That's great.
All right.
At
And
least you know which one's the leader.
all right. That one up here
Although
too.
we can't see them yet.
If it's a fanatic, sounds more like it'd be a.
Well, compared to a thug.
Bugs could be intelligent.
All right. Okay. Good to know, good to know, good to know. Alright. So, just give me a second here, guys. Getting a couple things sorted out here. Robin, I'm going to get you to quickly roll for me a perception check if you don't mind.
Is there. Hey, not bad.
Okay, not bad at all. Let's hey. Alrighty, so alright, that puts that there. Okay, cool. So the is the cult fanatic. So Veltris, hang tight. Gotta get here. Veltris, you see this person. Token isn't exactly the greatest image of it, but you do see this person take a step around the corner, wearing largely black clothes, a black hooded, leather kind of armor type setup, and kind of looks towards you, and you're pretty certain. Do you speak Draconic?
I do not believe.
Okay, so then you don't understand the word.
Minimum.
Okay, you don't understand the word per se, but what you do understand is when a mace suddenly appears directly.
Alright.
And it has cast spiritual weapon throwing, and it takes a swing at you. Does a 10 hit?
No.
All right. So this you do see this thing appear, and you make a very quick dodge out of the way as the mace swings towards your head, and you just kind of lean back. That.
Good.
And then I need you to roll a dexterity save next, because you're the one that this person can see.
Aha.
He also
Yeah.
casts Sacred Flame.
Greatest.
Oh, so you take
glorious.
After he says the statement, the mace shows up and swings at your head, and as you're a little bit off step, because you're slightly off step, you aren't able to kind of get around this blast of purple energy that just kind of 7 points of radiant damage.
Alrighty.
All right, and that brings us now to you. It is your turn.
Awesome. Please work. Well, I guess I will start booking it towards him. Actually, I do have my bow. I'm gonna take a shot at him.
Sure. That hits. So it really, almost kind of like as you take the strike from the sacred flame, you can feel the searing energy go through. Use the energy from that to pull out your arrow and knock it and loose it, and it hits him, and he just kind of takes the shot in the shoulder as well. A shoulder for a shoulder. That's your action.
And then I'll
you
start
still
moving over towards him.
Okie doke.
I believe right here.
And with that, you can now see another person kind of just around the corner as well.
Do I have any bonus actions that can help me not die? I
think I'm gonna see what I can for us too.
then I'm gonna do a bonus action to cast
All right. And you're casting it
That'll be it.
on yourself, is that right?
Yes.
Awesome.
That'll make
Okay.
my armor class 18. I gotta go wake up my buddy for work.
No problem. Okay, Autumn, it is your turn.
All right. Well, I'm gonna start by doing the thing I said I wanted to do. Misty Step.
Okie doke. So where do you... Go ahead and show me where you think you're Misty
So
Stepping.
I think this as well.
Yeah.
Odom just kind of like gives you like a small wave as he falls into his book and just kind of it all just kind of disappears in front of you. And I'm spit out on the street.
All right, so how about tell me what you feel about... I'm going to suggest, like, as far as you can go, 30 feet out?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see here. That's going to put you... Well, it'll put you off the map, so I'm going to put you... Is that okay?
Sure.
Sure. There you are. You are now on the walkway, and you can now see the things.
Perfect. All right.
That's your bonus
Sorry.
action.
Yep. Then I'm gonna look at the cleric-looking dude because he's got a bunch of weird stuff dangling about him. I would assume.
You...
By
There's not
comparison
actually...
to the two dudes who are probably wearing armor.
Yeah, they're all wearing leather armor of some sort. So what you're noticing on this fella is more along the lines of just some iconography on him, but not much. He doesn't have a lot of bling.
Sure. Not as much as I do. And then I'm gonna start prying into his head.
Okay.
He needs to make a intelligence saving throw.
An intelligence saving throw. Let's see how he can do on that. For 16 is the one that we're taking.
16 is a save.
Yes. So no other damage. Nothing else at this point for that then.
Nope. And then I'm
Alrighty.
gonna go. Two.
Alrighty.
Just some slightly better positioning.
For sure.
Veltris, you okay?
Yes, I am fine.
Alright. Autumn's just kind of ready to fight now.
Alrighty. That brings us then to the two thugs, who kind of get startled at first by the arrival of a dwarf suddenly out on the street. But being that Veltris is still closer, they both take a couple of steps out to make their attacks. And being as close as they are, you start to suddenly feel like they're going to have a flurry at you. These are at advantage due to their pack tactics. And with yet more maces, Veltris.
My one weakness.
It's a 19 hit.
Yes.
And does a 17 hit.
No. Well, actually,
Not
Constitution
anymore.
save for my Shield of Faith.
That will succeed.
Then no, that 17 does not.
Okay, so the first one hits. Let's get that. All right, so you take. So he smacks you right across the chest, right underneath the collarbone almost. You can feel it. You can kind of get the wind knocked around inside you, not completely out. You can catch it quickly, but because of it, you're able to kind of make a little bit of a sidestep so that the mace actually hits your Shield of Faith a little bit instead. So damage only at this point in time.
Good.
And then their next attacks, because they actually have multi-attacks each. So does a... No, that won't hit. Neither does that. So with that, you managed to kind of steal your positioning a little bit better, and none of these attacks are actually making their way through. And they kind of start... What the hell? Marisol, it's your turn.
All right. I hear a lot of noises, so I'm going to just like storm out of the hallway. Really just looking to see what the hell is happening. Make it up. Please see
Okey-doke.
Odom. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's all you see
I
at this point,
will
right?
step out and see Veltris attack. Gosh, do I even?
And
Sorry,
you
I
cut out.
literally forget how to play this character. So,
That's alright.
I will dash to get over by the. Yeah, I will just like come outside and be like, "What the hell?" and see the two people battering Veltris and just be like, "You are not touching my shop," and just zoom over to the cult fanatic. And I think dashing is pretty much the only thing I can do. So that's all
Okey-doke.
for what I'll do.
So I didn't see your last move. Oh, there it goes. It's just taking a while to catch up to me. That's all good. Alrighty then. So that brings us then to Surge, who, because he bonus action hid, step out and swear, saying, effing spellcasters, and actually, you know what? He wouldn't have done that walk. He would have gone straight up. He would have been able to make that movement. He would have gone straight up there, and just start wailing on the spellcaster. Actually, it's not much of a wail because it's a rapier that he uses, so he's going to kind of start poking away, I suppose. And this should be advantage, so I'm going to roll that again. There we go. And it's with sneak attack.
Goodbye, spellcaster.
I believe the term is Swiss cheesing.
Yes, there you go. With sneak attack. Look at all those dice. That's a beautiful thing. So that is 10, 21, 22 points. Yeah, just carves various shapes into his using his rapier, cult fanatic, and he's looking really bloody now. That will end Surge's turn. Brings us to Roman, who is.
I am 1 foot taller and hulked out. I can't see a whole lot of the map at the moment because of where I'm sitting, so I can't quite remember which way to get out of the house. So I'm gonna take my full 30 movement. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I can't see anything here, which certainly doesn't help my case at the moment.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, totally. You could probably go another 5 feet towards the front door if you wanted to.
I only have a 30-foot movement speed, so I just moved 30.
Okay, fair enough.
Which means I have to take my action to dash to get out.
That would be true.
Alrighty then. My plan needed another spell that cost an action, but you know what? I'll try and make do without it. He's a military guy. He's got a nice drill sergeant voice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 would put him there. Correct? Is that? Am I bad at math?
No, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's only 5. You can go one more.
Oh, neat. Then 6. We'll get me one step closer. So I took my action to do that. Is this a bonus action spell? This is. Nice. I'm going to cast Healing Word on Veltris.
Aha.
So you're now back up 6 points of health. I'm down 1 spell slot, and I'm going to use my Voice of Authority to make you attack the guy right in front of you, off to your right.
Good.
Alrighty. There's a. Wow. Okay, yeah, that hits. Oh yeah. So you take, yeah, that voice of authority just kind of, you just immediately, you don't even blink. It's just like your arms are suddenly thrust forward and you sink it straight into his abdomen, realizing that this leather armor is not going to be protecting him against your sword very much.
Good, all the.
Does that end your turn then, Roman?
Unless I'm allowed to speak something to them.
Yeah, you can say something. You can say stuff.
All right, in his voice he can possibly muster. He's basically going to scream at them that what I had a whole thing to say. Oh, if they're not buying something, they better leave.
Okay. All right, that takes us to.
They're outside of a shop. They're outside of a shop attacking the people running the shop. So, if they don't plan on buying anything, they probably shouldn't stick around.
Alrighty, in Donnie's turn.
Okay, so I am under a staircase. It is dark. I don't know what the fuck's happening. So I'm assuming make a perception check to see if I actually like know what's going on.
I'm going to say you're going to hear. No, actually, you're not going to hear very much. So yeah, go ahead and roll a perception check.
Notably, if I believe she's in the room, I think she is. She would have heard both me and Roman casting spells.
And Donnie first, just for she.
Oof.
Yeah, she hears you guys say stuff, but she doesn't know what you guys are saying. But she's not finding what she's looking for there. Anyway, so sure. Out, the room next door is suddenly empty, and she's gonna be like, guys?
I think I can make it there. I was just saying so.
It's 5, 10. That's around 20 feet of movement there so far.
Still empty, so I'll use a dash this turn just to go find some people, and that'll be all for me.
Alrighty. And that ends in Donnie's turn then?
Indeed, nothing else to do.
Alrighty. So that will bring us to our cult fanatic. Hang on one sec. So many of the screens. Okay. Yeah, they're gonna try this. So, the cult fanatic, although he's completely bloody and he's looking a little bit worried, he's kind of looking past and through all of you and not really looking directly at any of you. Kind of looks to grabs his sigil on his chest and points to Marisol. I need you to roll a wisdom saving throw, please, for me, Marisol.
Come on, please. I'm smart too. I can do this.
Ooh, okay. You save.
Monk powers didn't fail you.
You feel this tension suddenly kind of get into your muscles, and you're not really certain as to why all of a sudden your muscles are seizing up on you, but you look at this person and just kind of scowl at them and shake it off, and not letting them into taking over your form like that. That makes them...
I shake it out, get into... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I, shake it out, get into a boxer stance, arm guards up, and just give them, 2 fingers, come at me.
Okay. And he says, all you suddenly hear is, tussle! And that's it. However, he does still have his spiritual weapon out, so he's going to fling that directly at The other spellcaster then he knows can heal things of that Roman.
Mm.
And so let's get that attack up. Does a 12 hit.
Nope.
Alright. This cult fanatic did not have a successful round. Feltris, it's your turn.
He's scared of the 7'3" hulked out man.
Give the dude in front of me a smack.
Okay. That definitely hits. Dude gets another stabbing in the other part of the abdomen now, and he's slowly oozing out of his guts now.
Ooh. I think that'll be all.
Okay. Alrighty. That ends Veltris's turn. At this point in time, what's kind of funny about this, this is still it's somewhat later in the evening when this is happening, and there are still some people walking out in the middle of the and so, like, this massive conglomerate of battle has now just suddenly started out here, where there's still passers-by. A couple people nearby kind of stop and look, and, you know, a couple of them stop, settle back a little bit. Actually, I was going to do it with Marisol. Marisol, can I get... And Autumn. Marisol and Autumn, can I get you guys to roll perception checks for me, please?
Yeah, my favorite.
Because you guys are good already, and Marisol,
I'm aware.
You're paying attention to the surroundings as it is.
Sorry, Wendy, what was that?
Perception roll from Marisol.
Oh, okay, that's a...
You're a monk. You got wisdom.
Okay.
And?
Oh, okay, good. All right, so, Yep. Okay, that's what happens. So then it now brings us to Autumn's turn.
All right. Everyone's in the way now. Darn. All right. I'm gonna recite the story of the big bad wolf effectively to the cultist there, making him think there's a giant werewolf about to attack him from behind.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'd like him to make an intelligence save, please.
An intelligence save. All right. Well, he did so great on that last time. Where are we? Intelligence. Yeah. Okay. 17. He saves.
God damn it. All right.
Oh, that was a spell too, wasn't it?
Doesn't do anything. Yeah, it doesn't do anything.
Hang on.
That's
the big bad wolf story because of the bit of. Is that why? Is that why? Please tell me that's why.
No.
Oh, come on.
No, it's just one of like it's my retinue of stories. I got a bunch of stories here.
Right.
It just seemed like the appropriate one. Not a lot of people aren't afraid of wolves.
Fair enough.
Bob. Maybe should have tried Baba Black Sheep. That might have been worse.
Maybe.
Does that end your turn then, Autumn?
Yeah, I got nothing else.
All right, that brings us to our thugs, who the one actually immediately beside Veltris and Surge and Marisol, I guess, too, as well. Interestingly enough, he kind of seems to be looking past you guys and grins and says, "You ain't got metal," and smack. Surge's AC is 16, so the second one hits. Oh, except they're both at advantage, so they both hit. Oh, and so you hear them. You hear some bones crunch underneath these blows. On Surge.
I'm gonna use my reaction to cast my channel divinity.
Oh. You can use your reaction to force the attacker to make a wisdom saving throw. All right. Let's see how wise these thugs are. He does succeed.
Oh yeah, that's half as much damage as he dealt.
All right, so he takes. As soon as the attacks make it happen, look at his mace and kind of look really oddly at it, like ah. The mace starts actually burning him. You said takes. Now that would be on the first attack.
I believe so. Yes.
Yes. So that'll be half the damage on that. So he takes 4 points of radiant damage. The other one is going to run around towards Marisol. Veltris, this gives you would have given you an attack of opportunity, except that you. So, Marisol. Both at it. Neither one is gonna. In fact, actually, on the second one, he swings at you, and it's like his palms were super sweaty. Through the air and lands at Autumn's feet.
He's weak, mom's scary. Actually, kind of like laugh a little bit at him and just like square up again.
That brings us to Marisol.
Okay, how cult fanatic in front of me looking?
Pretty bloody. 2 punches might do the trick.
Okay. Particularly I'd like to do non-lethal damage with this.
Okay.
So I'll square up and like aim straight for his nose, like attempting to just like hit him quick with a 1-2,
Okay.
aiming to knock him out rather than kill him.
Okay. Might go with 1 hit then first to see how that goes.
Yes, if it goes well.
Oh, it's
My
crit.
rolls are always gorgeous. Let's be real.
Good hit.
Oh,
Does that knock
jeez.
him out?
Oh, that definitely knocks him out. It knocks him out, but you feel as your hand makes contact with his nose, like you're not used to people who have actually had a glass jaw. You're pretty much certain this was a glass jaw. You feel his face crumple underneath your hand. It's a critical hit. And so he does knock out, and while he is unconscious, it does actually, because it's a critical hit, you do feel than he meant.
He's not dead, right?
He's currently unconscious. And probably dying because of how much his face caved in underneath that.
Okay. I'll look to Sir Drummond and Veltris and like sternly say, I want that one alive. Make sure it doesn't die. And can I flurry of blows the other thug to my right?
Yeah, you can.
All right. I then like immediately turn and like aim for a swift kick to the knee, and then follow that up thug to my right.
Yeah. Connect.
Jesus.
11 points of damage. Nice rolls. Jeez, man.
Oh, my session's Friday. I couldn't roll above like a fucking 1, and I was a rogue.
Yeah.
Action and bonus action. Anything else that you wanted to do?
Do I have enough? Save that for later. That's all for me.
Okay. That brings us to Surge. Still in melee with this one, and got a little bit smacked up by him. Not happy with it. So is going to... let's see here. Just want to see one thing. Okay, so... is going to try to attack with the rapier and carve up this thug a little bit. Oh, jeez.
All the criticals.
Well, because Veltris is right there and so is Marisol.
Yeah, nothing.
Jeez.
Basically lose it with his rapier on this thug and just carve a few extra Swiss cheese. He is dead too. And Roman, it is your turn.
The thug that just got Swiss cheesed.
Mm-hmm.
Would I have noticed that he was looking past all of us?
Roll perception. Let's find out.
Let's find out because it may be relevant.
Yes, you would have noticed.
If I look back there, do
You see a halfling walking relatively rapidly.
how far away is he from us?
Math. He's going to be at about 30-ish feet away from Marisol and that thug at this point in time. Almost around the corner of the next building to the right.
Oh, he's off. Okay, he's off in the direction off to the right then. Okay.
Yes, he's off map.
All right then. I have a strange question.
Mm-hmm.
If I
Sure.
that gives me 30-foot fly speed.
Okay,
Is that
yeah.
in addition to my standard 30-foot walk speed?
No, it would be one or the other.
Okay, that's fine.
However,
So
the
then
cool
if-
thing is that you could actually fly above the buildings, so there's that.
Yes. But I can currently see him at the moment.
You can see him just now. He looked
Okay,
like
so
another
if I-
person in the crowd at this point, but up until now.
Okay, so if I full dash towards him, I can get.
You probably could, yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna full dash and attempt to tackle.
You won't be able to attempt to tackle because that would be another action.
Oh, how far away is he?
From you, he's around 45 feet away from you.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that would make something a little different then. Ooh, I can do something anyways. I am gonna move over to here behind. Actually, I'm gonna move down here.
Okay.
And I still have line of sight on him.
You do?
I'm going to cast command on him
Ooh.
and order him to halt.
All right.
So I need, what is it? A wisdom save.
A wisdom save. A second here. Ooh. Okay, so you cast command on him, and let's see here. Let me just do some quick reading here. Okay, so your command was halt.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. Alrighty then. Anything else on your turn?
Does the spell appear to have any effect?
You feel like it's actually like there's been some energy that's been released from you.
Okay, then I guess I'm gonna take the rest of my movement to continue following. I
Okay,
can't see where this is off because this will take me off map. So
that will take you off map. Yes, indeed. That takes us to Indani, who can now actually get outside.
In time to do nothing. I will come out here, see people attacking people, and quickly draw my bow and fire a shot at the last thug.
Alrighty. That does not hit.
Her sheet is so curse.
Will that end her turn then?
Yeah, because I don't know what else she could do.
Alrighty. That takes us to Veltris.
Alrighty. I will make my way over to other person.
Make him away.
Give him a smack.
Alright, let's see what happens.
Ooh, all the criticals today.
Oh, nice. Go ahead and roll that damage, because that definitely is going to go through. 15 points of damage. Ooh. He's not looking all that great.
You know what? Hold on. Let's see, which one do I have? Would I be able to pump a smite?
Smite. Let's see
Divine.
that. Oh, Divine Smite. That is that something you can put in
When
after
I
you
hit.
do that? When you hit. Well, yeah, you hit. So
Yeah,
go
when
ahead
you
and
hit
put.
a creature.
Yeah. So for future reference, when you decide you want to do a Divine Smite, say you're going to do it before you roll the damage.
Yeah, I was just wasn't thinking about it.
Yeah, no worries. So is this your Divine Smite here, the Radiant there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you crit roll it?
Yeah,
Just
because
normal roll.
it would be a crit roll, but I'm going to tell you right now, you don't have to worry about it because he also falls.
I would, if you would allow with a smite, I would prefer it.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, go for it. Go ahead and describe it.
She's gonna kind of take the back end of her sword, since it's stylized as more of a katana, and like smack him in the neck.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and it kind of, you feel it kind of jolt in the neck, but and then immediately the neck turns bright red, like it's had a really nasty sunburn, and it also actually kind of shrivels up the skin and gets all tight and cracked, and he falls to the ground completely devoid of life. That ends your turn?
So, yeah, devoid of life means he died, or is he still
Very, very dead.
unconscious?
Very, very dead.
Damn it.
Yes. All right. Well, then that
So
will
I was
bring us.
hoping for a non-lethal.
Oh, not with a crit.
That's
Same
why I
sca-
asked, like,
Yeah, same story with Marisol. It's
like-
not with a crit. Yeah. Had you guys not gone crit, it would have probably stayed alive. But that is going to bring us to Autumn then. So, Autumn, you did hear Marisol say, "I want this one alive."
Sure, I can't do anything about that. That's outside of my skill set.
That brings these guys off.
I'm gonna make sure like there's no guards coming or anything,
Roll perception.
because I'm pretty sure we just murdered 3 dudes.
Oh yeah, you see, as well as your short eyes can see, and quite a ways down the road, you remember the guards that you had earlier. You imagine they're probably not on shift anymore, but you do see some people moving towards you. You can't really tell if they're guards or who they are in particular, but they are definitely moving at a bit of a pace.
Right. I just kind of turn in like, I'm at a loss of what to do here.
That'll be your turn then.
That's my turn. Yeah.
All right,
I got
Marisol.
nothing.
Okay, looking at the guy at my feet, he's like completely kaput, not breathing, right?
At the moment, that's true.
Does it still look like there's like a bit of life in him though?
You feel like there might be a chance, but like you don't really want to wait on it.
Okay, I'm going to lean down and attempt to resuscitate him.
Okay. This would be a medicine check to do so.
Let's see.
Yeah, you're able to. So you find, first of all, he's been Swiss cheesed a little bit by Surge, and then the pop from your hands, you are able to kind of just move his head. No, actually, you don't move his head. You stabilize his head, and also try to hold some of the bleeding that Surge is kind of pinched in, and you can feel that a little bit of a heave, but it's super light. He's alive, but he's not looking great.
Yeah, I don't know I can heal yet, so I can't throw a hand of healing on him.
I mean, you feel like if nothing else were to happen to him, you don't move his neck or anything, he'll be okay. It's just really unfortunate that he's out here in the open.
To that end, I'll look at the other two bodies, and look to Surge, Viltris, and Andani, and say, "All right, we just murdered 3 people in the street. Let's, Surge, go get the guard because we're gonna need to explain this anyway. Viltris and Donnie, move the other bodies so that they're at least in the alleyway instead of out in the open." And then I'm going to...
Quick kind of unorthodox question.
Bring it.
Given that they are dead, and I have healing magics, would I be able to pump in like 1 point of lay on hands to revive them?
Potentially on your turn, though.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
And if I still have like enough action economy left, I'd like to pick up the cult fanatic and take it inside my shop.
Okay, well, you don't have that quite yet, because we still have some interactions happening with other characters out here. So we are gonna say that you were able to stabilize this cult fanatic, and you gave out some of these other instructions. And so Surge looks to you. When you said it to Surge, you also remember that you haven't exactly had the greatest relationship with Surge, but he kind of looks to you and just kind of nods and starts making his way towards the guards. Just starts running. Roman.
Yes.
It is your turn again. You notice that the halfling did not move. He looked at you, and he looked at you with anger, but he did not move.
Okay, and he's now within range?
He is now within
I can
range.
Walk up. Okay. Well, all right. Okay. Now I need to ask a question.
Sure.
How tall is this halfling?
About shorter than Autumn.
Yes.
Okay, that's hopefully acceptable then.
Okay.
So I'm within 30 feet of him?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna walk up to him, and I'm just gonna pick him up. I have no need to tackle him now, because apparently the spell took hold, and now he can't fight me.
All right. Go ahead and let's see here. Hang on a second. Let's see here.
I don't know whether or not this would be like a grapple check at advantage or something.
It is. You would actually have to. You have to. Well, and that's the thing. Is you're not really sure that halt does more than just stop him for that one turn.
Yes, I believe he gets another save on his next turn.
After a fashion, it's not so much that he gets a save on the next turn as it is that once his turn is done, and he's fulfilled your commands to the best of his ability, that's it. Your spell has now completely completed its task. So you can go ahead and make a strength check if you would like to try to grapple.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay, so you run basically 25 feet off the map to the right and
Yeah.
try to grapple him. Go ahead and roll an athletics check then.
Let's hope this goes well, because if not, I mean, I don't know. Yikes.
Versus-
Of course not.
Yeah. And so you go to
He's probably
grab
got a
him.
higher dex than my single roll.
Yeah, you go to grab him, and he manages to slip between your hands. You're like, how is that possible? Stupid runt.
Alright, and that's my action to do that?
That was your action and movement, yes.
Huh. I feel like all of my other spells are... Oh. Well, shit, I should have used this first. Alright. I'm casting Hex on him, and he's gonna
Oh.
have disadvantage on dexterity checks.
Oh, yeah, that would have been very good. Okay. Alrighty
I
then.
forgot I had the spell, but we're just gonna ignore the fact that I could have done that beforehand.
Alrighty. That brings us to Indani. So is Indani just gonna move bodies into the alley? Is that kind of the plan here?
I totally forgot I was controlling her. Yeah, she'll
Okay.
just move up and start like picking them up to move them into the alley and away from the crowd.
Okay. Well, she'll be able to get about that far with it. That'll bring us to Veltris then.
Yes. She'd like to kneel down and try and put a point of lay on hands, just a single, into
All right.
the dead thumb.
And immediately after having done that, you can actually see the face, which looks a little bit more like a pug dog than it used to, kind of reform its shape again. And it's just the face that moves. Everything else is still bleeding and holy, which is great for this cult fanatic. But he breathes some air back into him, but he's still and so he's now got 1 point of health, and he is no longer unconscious. And he looks up at you, and he's looking up at you with wild, scared eyes.
Be calm, and you will live.
All right, roll an intimidation check.
Well, it was more trying to persuade him that, hey, be calm and
Oh,
you
okay.
may live
Go for
this
it.
thing.
I'll take persuasion on that then.
Feels bad.
You think you're happy that he's actually got a face that can actually understand things now. Oh, and I forgot to hit the button there. That's going to bring us to... Let's see something here real quick. That is... But it's a disadvantage because of... Whoops, whatever it was you just did, Roman, which was... Hex. Okay. Roman, roll me a perception check real quick for me, please.
Dude's in front of me. I gotta roll perception on it?
I do. Oh!
I don't see shit. Of course not.
Yeah, so he... Well, you know what? You get an attack of opportunity, though, too, because he's about to run away.
Oh. I don't have Warcaster, so I have to hit him with my mace. That's fine.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
I
that
hit,
hits. Oh, yeah, it definitely hits.
And he will take hex damage because I hit him with an attack.
Yeah, bring it on.
So there's mace damage,
Okay.
and there is hex damage.
All right, so you as he turns to just bolt, you golf club him. And you feel it hitting him as square in the back, and you can actually even see some of the clothing that he's wearing kind of wither a little bit underneath the power of your hex. But he still bolts, and he bolts around behind the building and out of view.
Oh.
And with that, I think we're going to pull ourselves out of initiative at this point in time. But we still have other things going on So you guys can still tell me what is it all that you guys would like to do at this point in time.
Veltris would like to do a single point of lay on hands onto anyone else that might still be dead.
Okay, so she's gonna revive them all?
Yes.
Okay.
She did not want to kill them in the first place.
Gotcha. Okay, so they are all now revived because you're doing it pretty fast. And they would be surviving death saving throws if they would actually have any. And my computer done did frizzed, so just give me one moment here while things catch up to me. There we go. Okay, Marisol, anything in particular you wanted to do?
Looking to Veltris and Indani, or specifically Veltris, as she's healing them, saying, smart thinking. Also make sure that they don't, since they're alive now, let's put them in the shop. And when the guards get here, let's not explain that we killed them first. Then I'm gonna slap my pair of manacles onto the spellcaster.
Okay.
And drag him to his feet.
All right.
I'm going to get level with his face and I'm assuming when I was manacling him, I also took his holy symbol, and I'm going to hold this up in front of his face, menacingly, if you can manage that, and then drag him into the shop.
Can you just roll an intimidation check for me while you're doing that too? Roman, are you going to give chase?
Yeah, I'm giving chase.
Okay. Are you giving chase by foot? Nice. Okay.
I saw him. So he ran around the corner from me. So if I go to that corner and look, can I spot him at all?
You don't see him.
Well, shit.
We're gonna go to Theater of the Mind from here now, guys.
All right. You know what? I'm already out of view of the party, correct? They can't see me?
Yeah, they can't see you. You've ducked around a corner.
Cool. Then I'll activate Radiant Soul and go up into the sky to try and find this kid.
All right. Go ahead and roll a new perception check. All right. Okay.
I feel like I'm one off the mark.
I rolled a nat one. So after he got around, as you get up into the sky, you can actually see down some back alleys and through some buildings. It's obvious he felt that once he got around a corner, he had gotten out of your view. And he seems to be just weaving through the buildings, going almost due north.
Or it's the exit of the city?
No, the exit of the city is to the northeast.
Okay, then yeah, I'm going to continue following.
Okay.
And, well, let's see. Since I'm flying above buildings, I can catch up to him and get ahead of him, correct?
You can, yes, absolutely you can.
Okay, I wanted to get to a point to where he's still kind of stuck in a back alley.
Okay.
And essentially dive bomb him.
Okay, so let me just do
basically taking his head and slamming it down into the floor with my shoulder or something like that.
Okay, so while I'm figuring out how much space you guys have to move to make that happen, I'm going to ask Autumn and... I guess it's Autumn today. Tell me what else you would like to be doing, and if you guys have anything in mind for Serge or Indani. I mean, Serge went off to go get some soldiers. There's some guards, I should say.
I'm gonna prestidigitize all the blood away.
Ooh. All right.
Make it look like a fight barely happened here, maybe a scuffle.
And Donnie nods approvingly, and says, "Good thinking, dwarf."
It takes like no time, and then I'm just kind of wandering back with the group.
Okay. So Serge, while you're off, Roman, to the larger ensemble. So Serge is going to come back with the guards and say, "Seriously, they just attacked us. and then look and see that there's nothing there. It's like, I don't know what happened here. Where'd they go? And realizing that you guys probably would have brought them inside or something to that effect, kind of knock on the door before entering into the building. Are we all okay in here now?
How quickly would the guards have gotten here? Like, would we have had any time to question the guys before
Let's do that.
the guards showed up?
Sure. Go ahead and make a. You would have enough time for probably 2 or 3 questions.
Okay. Well, I'm just like literally going to be dragging this spellcaster in like by the manacles. If he's on his feet or not, I don't give a damn.
Okay.
And as soon as we're into the shop, I slam the door behind me, throw him against the table, and hold the holy symbol in front of him. For reference, what does the holy symbol look like?
You recognize it. It's not actually even a holy symbol. It's the symbol of Zentarum.
Seriously? Okay. All right. So, I'm going to like get all the anger looking at it, and like there's an audible creaking sound as my fist tightens around the holy symbol, and I'm just going to like shove it in the guy's face again, and I'm going to say, I came back here with a corpse for you fuckers. Why the hell are you attacking me in my streets?
Roll an intimidation check. Oh no, you already did that. You get the 19 on that. So, he's gonna look particularly. You might feel like he might need a bathroom soon. He looks back up at you and says, "Oh, I just do what I'm told."
Right, because that's what all of you fucks do. Who ordered this?
He looks really conflicted at this point in time. And he's looking back towards the thugs, kind of looking nervously back and forth towards them. But don't you
You
work?
guys owe us for keeping you alive.
And he kind of looks towards you, and he's kind of confused by this whole good cop, bad cop thing that's happening. Not really sure what to do at this point in time. And he finally wets himself. But he doesn't say much else that more than just simply stammering.
I like full on grimace, look to the door, like, please magic this away, and then just like stomp my feet down in between his feet, and like lean over him. I'm Zentarum too, and by all accounts, I bet I am higher rank than you. So if you really want me to be reporting to Chubb that you attacked a fellow, then you better start talking.
And his eyes go immediately like white with fear at the mention of the name Chob. And he says, "But if you work for them, then you should want this." And he's now also looking super confused and afraid, and pretty close to every possible emotion of a negative variety is kind of seems to be swimming behind those eyes. And this is about the point in time when Serge is going to be knocking on the door. Are we actually okay now?
I look over my shoulder at Veltris. Handle this because I'm not going to be kind.
Okay, so Roman, we'll go back to you for a couple of moments.
Yes.
So you guys are you're kind of trying to track him through a whole bunch of buildings, and he is jumping over crates and rolling through some hay piles to try to get around things faster. He's just full on booking it, and so you kind of have to do a little bit of fancy flying even just to keep sight lines on him. So I'm going to get you to roll a couple of checks for me, and I'm going to get you to go roll 3 perception checks in a row. We're going to have them compete against his ability to shake you.
Well, if they're dexterity based, he has disadvantage on them still.
Yep.
So that's a perception 1.
Okay.
I'm assuming I still see him at the moment.
So far, you still see him, yeah.
Okay. Perception 2, not
Yeah,
as great. Hopefully.
Yeah, here you lost him a little bit, so you kind of fly a little bit further forward, hoping to get a better sight line, a little bit towards where you can see that there's a straight line between buildings as opposed to bob and weaves.
So I can make the 3rd one still?
You can make the 3rd one still.
I think
Yeah.
I caught him.
You pick him up, and you realize as you pick him up, he's making his way to the center market. It's obvious now. He's going towards the center market.
That's where, like, Zitarum do their trading, isn't it?
It's where
Marisol
everybody...
told me, I think.
What you remember is that there is a slave trade place there, but you also know that that's where trade happens, generally speaking. Just so happens that
okay.
some of the trade happens to be human in nature.
Okay. Well, let's try this again. I think what I want to do this time, instead of just attempting a grapple, is to attempt a full tackle.
Okay.
So he'll end up taking damage and hopefully being frozen in place or something like that.
Okay.
I don't remember the exact definition of tackle, but I can look at. There's a specific thing for it.
It's I'll look it up here. Just give me a second here.
It's like one of those special attacks.
Right. Okay. Let's see here. No, all I can find is block and tackle and fishing tackle. So we're gonna treat it as like a grapple with advantage.
Let's see. I think there's. Oh. Yeah, maybe I was thinking of something different, or I found something earlier.
Yeah, it might be.
So this will just be like a grapple check then.
Yeah.
Do I have advantage because he doesn't know I'm there?
Let's see if he doesn't know.
It's gonna be normal. I know he already has disadvantage. I'm just trying to see what I can get out of this because.
Yeah, no.
It's not great.
He has no idea you're there. So it's like he's already got disadvantage on the dexterity save. So yeah, go ahead. We're not going to double advantage this. We're just going to have you go ahead and roll your grapple.
Okay. Wait, this is a save for him? I thought it was a check.
Oh no, it'll actually just be a grapple for you. Yeah, so go ahead and roll.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure, because if it's a saving throw, then he doesn't have disadvantage, because that's not how Hex works. But I think grappling is contested check rather than roll versus saving throw.
Yeah, let's have you roll advantage then, and we'll just make it a straight roll for his dexterity save.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
God,
Okay.
I'm so bad at strength.
Oh, he rolled so bad. Okay.
Good.
Hang on, I gotta do the math. Oh, I put the sheet down. That one was. Yeah, no, he does not succeed. Okay, so we'll resolve this in a second. Surge, he opens up the door, and now you guys and he's kind of takes a step in as you guys are looking. As Marisol's kind of handing off this cult fanatic to Veltris. And there's a couple of guards who are just kind of standing at the door too. One of them says, "So, I heard there was a tussle." And at the word tussle, actually, I can't believe I just did that. At the word tussle, the cult fanatic just does a really fast glance over to the guard with wide eyes, just. No tussle here. We're fine. That's the cult fanatic saying that.
Hey, it was merely a misunderstanding.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, Marisol. Thanks for the clarification there.
I
And he-
glower at the cult fanatic.
And
We worried things were going to get ugly, but everything's fine now. Thank you for your service.
go ahead and roll persuasion check.
Sure, that's a thing.
Yeah, fair to say. They kind of look at each other, say, they clean it up themselves. Yeah, I suppose that's true. And all right, go about your business. And they carry on down the street.
You have a nice day.
Yep. Okay, you got some time for a couple more questions if you want, Marisol.
Way better than I thought.
Yeah, I forgot it was a negative wisdom modifier and a negative charisma modifier, and I was like, oh shit. I look to the cult fanatic leaning down again, but this time like actually like kneeling beside him and attempting to be like not friendly, but a little bit less overtly aggressive, and say steely, so if I'm meant to want you to try to kill me, then explain why I'm supposed to want that.
I see. I don't know. I really don't know. I just know that I was supposed to distract you. Didn't want to die. Yeah, we didn't want to die either, said the thugs. But I didn't want to die doing it. I just was supposed to distract you.
By swinging magic at us. And better question, what were you distracting us for?
And he looks at your hand and he says, interesting how you can hold on to my Zentarum symbol and not something else. He raises his eyebrows and kind of has this mischievous look to him.
Can I insight that?
Yeah, go ahead, roll insight. You have
I am so
no idea what he's
disappointed.
talking about.
Damn, the one time Roman needs to be there. He's off doing the other thing.
If we've literally swapped roles with this.
Yeah.
I like look the holy symbol over for a second, glancing between the cultist and the symbol, and then like ask somewhat quizzically, is that meant to be a threat?
And now he's actually starting to chuckle. No. It's already happened.
I look over to Veltris and hold the holy symbol out. You have one of these. Is this supposed to be doing something to me right now?
Would that be like a religion check for me or something?
You could try that. You can actually just look at this symbol and say this is no religious artifact. The only thing that this thing could potentially be is like a spellcasting focus. That's it.
This has no religious. The most it could be is a focus.
Well, I guess it's divine soul sorcerer, not cleric then. I look back to
Can
the...
Odom walk out to the cart?
Yeah.
Okay, that's where I'm headed.
Okay.
I look back to the cultist, and like I'm just at this point like just very confused, openly on my face. But then I'm going to like grab him by the collar of his robes pull him very close to my face and ignore the smell. What the hell did you do?
And at this point in time, it looks like he's actually had a little bit of time to process what's going on. He says, I think that's something I don't know. And grins back at you. Thugs are now just kind of looking at each other like, okay. And one of them actually speaks up to you and says, okay, legitimately, I don't actually have a freaking clue what he's talking about, so...
I think he is just trying to stall.
Great. I looked at Vel just a bit apologetically, and then I snapped the cultist's finger.
Oh! Oh! Alright. Okay. And he just squeals out in pain. He says, and I'm gonna look something up here real quick. Let's see here. Mm-hmm. All right, he. Oh, okay. All right. So with that, he squeals out in pain, and just looks at you with kind of furious anger. But then he shifts it again. Not enough. Not enough.
At that, like, there is a very dark cloud over my face, and I'm, like, just eyes narrow on him, and I begin, like, rubbing my fingers over this other knuckle of another finger, and
He's wearing manacles, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And I say, are you entirely sure about that?
Veltrus is going to kind of look at Marisol. If you end up killing him again, just let me know. I'm going to step outside while you do this. And kind of looking to the cultists, I pray you come to your senses soon. And she's going to step outside while Marisol fucks with him.
All right. And the fella just looks back up at you and says, Actually, try this one on for size. Yeah, he's actually going to look at you back straight into your eyes. And he is going to say, I think you need to drop it. And I would like you to roll a wisdom saving throw for me, please, with Marisol.
Oh, gosh. He cast command on me. Seriously.
Oh, you save. And so you feel the power of his word kind of enter into your head. But it also feels feeble. Like it's definitely entered your head, but it feels feeble because he's in such pain. And you're able to just kind of shake it completely off. And he looks back at you with wild eyes. Says, you're not getting it from me. Simple as that. Felcher says, it's about this point in time that you realize that Roman's not around.
All right. I don't think I was paying attention to have any idea of where he would have went off.
Um, you would have noticed him going off to the right, but that's about it.
To the right.
You did also hear him shout a command to halt at somebody off to the right as well.
So, Vultures is actually going to kind of peek her head in. Change of plans. Roman has not returned. Please do not kill them until I get back. I'm going to go look for him.
Okay. We're going to switch gears for just a brief moment. Roman,
Yes.
so as you are tracking this halfling towards the center market, you get nearby him. You get kind of diagonally above him, just as he gets to the edge of the market, and he darts across the main pathway of the market. As you get above the market, what you can see are it's basically this open plain air market that has a whole bunch is surrounded by buildings with all the same regular red mud scales or red mud shingles kind of idea. And in the center of this market is this hodgepodge of tents and covers and crates. Some of them, because it's later at night, there's a few wagons here and there all around the outskirts as well. You do see some guardsmen kind of patrolling this area as well. You do see a much more formidable fence or gated structure to the northeast corner of the market. It's there. One of the guards is actually going around lighting some of the lamps, or some of the street lights, if you will, the street torches. And as you guys get to the market at the same time, he darts across and gets underneath one of the tents, so you can't immediately dive down to him. So you just kind of fly a little bit above, trying to track him through the tents. No problem, you are able to do so. And as soon as you see a clearing where he kind of steps between a couple of tents, you dive bomb him, and you just pin him to the ground immediately beside you. Larkin.
Cool. Oh,
Fun.
Okay. Larkin, you're just kind of starting to pack up your tent for the day. And I just realized that I have your token with the wrong name on it. There we go. You're just trying to pack up your tent for the end of the day, and you do notice this halfling just seems to kind of start darting towards you and beside your tent, and all of a sudden just smash, just puff of dust immediately beside your tent, and the halfling is pinned, and it takes a couple of moments for you to realize that he's been pinned by something with wings.
So literal wings sprouted from its back, huh?
Yes.
yes, but they actually look like marble.
Larkin turns and sort of regards the situation at first. On his tip of his tongue, well, what? And he just pauses, seeing the wings. What? And the Dark Lady's name is this.
And at that, I'm going to get us to take a quick little break here, so that you guys have a chance to decide what you're going to be doing next year, guys, and for me to say goodnight to my kids. So we'll go for a quick little break at this point in time. Alrighty, and we're back, and we are. We currently what we have going on is we have a bit of an interrogation happening with a modicum of violence in Marisol's Hollow Flags cartography business location. Meanwhile, Roman has managed to pin a halfling to the ground immediately beside Larkin's tent. So what we're gonna do?
Larkin, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Larkin. Action.
I was just gonna say, Larkin would definitely be looking around to try to get a sense of like what people around think of this winged creature tackling a halfling.
So in the tents immediately beside you, so they all basically saw the same kind of thing as you just did, and they're equally shocked. But none of the guards, which you know very well, frequent this market with some fairly significant presence, happen to be immediately nearby your tent this time. But they were a few. And so when you're looking around, you actually look to see if there's some guards nearby, and they are around 5 or 6 tents away. You can actually see them through the tent pegs.
Larkin will grab one of the covers from the table nearby where some of his masks have been knocked aside, and sort of pull it over the pair on the ground and say to the surroundings, nothing to see here, just some friends who maybe had a little bit too much to drink. Don't worry about it.
Roll persuasion check.
First roll.
First roll, Larkin.
Yes, the halfling and the 7-foot-tall winged creature from the sky are just buddies who had too much to drink.
The Hulk fell out of the sky with Marvel wings. You're a
Yeah.
tiny
It is
door.
Faerûn.
Everybody looks to you and kind of snickers. Just, yeah, sounds about right. And just carry on with. And most of them are actually packing up their wares. You were actually about to pack up your tent for the most part as well. You were just waiting for one of the tents immediately beside you to finish packing their stuff up onto a wagon so that you could also cart your stuff out.
Looking down at the halfling, what does he look like? Just so I get a sense of like, is he some sort of scallywag? Does he look like a poor innocent farmer? Like, what does this sort of look?
So looking at the halfling and the 7-foot-tall creature, first thing you realize when you're looking at the halfling, and this is actually partly my fault, is that you're not convinced he or she is kind of indiscernible. The hair is not long, but also not too short and kind of messy. He's wearing some leather armor, but they have what you actually notice. Actually, roll a perception real quick, seeing as you're just doing a quick peek at this. Let's see what all entirely you see on him.
Nice. Second roll.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You happen to see underneath the pile of bodies here, one very large one for one very small one, as they're kind of tussling about, you notice that there are a set of keys on the dirt. Iron keys. Underneath the halfling.
Can I make a move to just sort of surreptitiously like kick those aside and away from the halfling?
You can certainly try. Go ahead and do a quick, let's just make this a quick dexterity check. See if you could do it while this battle is happening. Oh, okay, so you make the kick at it, but as soon as you start making a move towards it, the halfling realizes what's going on, and even though he's currently grappled, he's able to kind of shift his body weight underneath Roman. They are able to be able to kind of shift their body weight underneath Roman, so that you actually end up accidentally kicking Roman's arm and not actually kicking the keys. Oh, that was Dex. No, that's okay. It's the same thing anyway.
Yeah, same modifier. I figured it was fine.
Yeah, it's good.
He
So
rolled with advantage, right?
I mean, it would have been like with I rolled a 2, so there's no way it was the best side.
But yeah, there's definitely he's obviously trying to protect the keys. He's also trying to wrestle himself away from Roman. Roman, would you mind doing
Yes.
another strength check for me? Unless you're doing anything else in particular.
Okay.
But you
well,
do notice that you've had this shroud basically placed over top of you.
Yeah, I'm more concerned about the halfling at the moment.
Okay.
He's still fighting me, right?
He's still trying to. Yeah, he's trying to slip away from you through your arms. Trying to take advantage of the
Oh.
fact that your arms are particularly long, and he might and therefore can't actually squeeze tight enough to actually hold
Actually,
him.
not. That's the thing about disguise self is they're not actually as long
Oh,
as
that's a
they
good point.
appear.
That's a good point. That's a good point. But he's still gonna try and push away from you.
That's fine. Let's see. Did he take any damage when I landed on him?
Yeah, he definitely took some damage from you.
How hurt is he looking at the moment then?
He's hang on. Let me do a quick thing here. Ooh, okay. He's looking beat up, but he's not looking so hurt as to not be potentially a problem.
Okay. So he's not hurt enough that if I were to essentially knocked unconscious kind of thing?
He's not quite hurt that badly yet.
Okay.
He's also not trying to hurt you. He's just trying to get away.
Okay. Would I have noticed Larkin kicking at the keys though? Would I have seen the keys at all?
Yep, you would have seen this extra boot kind of come into view and trying to kick at the keys.
Okay. And where are the keys now?
The keys are still underneath you and him.
Okay. Can I see them at the moment?
Not really. You don't actually even know what he was kicking at. You just thought that he was kicking at the halfling, and ended up hitting you instead.
Okay. I thought I saw the keys.
I mean, you could roll a perception check to see if you can figure out what he's kicking at.
Would it be
Well,
perception or insight?
You're not trying to discern his intention. You're just trying to see what he's going for. I mean, if you're trying to discern his intention, then they go for the insight instead. You could do that.
Yeah, because if I know that he's kicking at something, then I know what I want isn't him, or isn't the halfling. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Hang on. Do I have a thing for this? I'm not level 2 cleric. I don't have a thing for this yet.
You're not really sure what he was. You can't tell if he was trying to kick at you or if there was actually something else worth kicking at.
Okay, then yeah, I'm just gonna continue to try and attempt to keep this guy grappled, since I am unable to determine whether or not he was kicking at something or at something, at the halfling or at something else.
Okay, go ahead and roll a strength check real quick.
Is it strength or athletics?
Athletics would work fine.
Okay. Hopefully I do well on this. Strength is not my strong suit.
Oh, you do well, and you do well. Ooh. Okay,
is this a
so
check
this is
for him?
It is a check for him.
Then he's at disadvantage.
You're right.
It's dexterity, I believe.
Oh yeah, it still the matches. So,
Oh.
Larkin, you can actually see like the halfling is trying to get away from this winged creature. The winged creature is obviously trying to grapple this halfling, almost like an eagle trying to grapple a weasel. And there's a bit of a battle. Like the weasel could get away, or the eagle could actually take him. You just don't know what's going on. Like it could happen anytime.
Larkin will bend down and put his head under the sheet that he put over them with the table. Gentlemen, or, such as you are, please stop struggling so noticeably. You're going to draw the attention of the guards, and that's not something that usually goes well, given the way I look. If you can just pause for a moment, perhaps we can talk this out, whatever this is about.
Okay. Would that persuade you, Roman?
That would depend on the halfling's reaction.
Okay, the halfling's reaction is just to keep on trying to get away. He's
Then
gonna
no,
almost
it
as
is
if
not.
yeah, it's almost as if Larkin said nothing.
Roman is very clear, understands now that he is here and he cares something about the situation.
Mm-hmm.
But this halfling is more of a focus than the guard at the moment.
Okay, you saying anything to Larkin?
I think Larkin will probably step on the halfling's fingers if he keeps struggling so much and apply a little bit of pressure.
Oh, okay.
If you want to keep these functional, you should stop moving.
And at that point in time, he immediately stops moving. And he looks up towards you as...
Yeah, that wasn't so hard, was it?
Purple freak.
Okay. He stopped moving now?
He's now stopped moving.
Okay. I want to insight check him, because if I move, I want to make sure he doesn't.
Sure, go for it. You're convinced that so long as he is like you as soon as you saw that boot come in contact with the halfling's fingers, you realize and saw the expression on the halfling's face, you realized apparently he really, really likes his fingers. And will not do anything to risk them.
Perfect. Granted, Larkin is not hindering me at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to take out my rope and attempt to hog-tie this halfling.
Okay. We're going to say that you will be able to do so. At this point in time, Larkin, you're looking around. The guards haven't come over at all.
Yep, so having like peeked up and looked around,
Oh, you went cell phony on us again.
How's that? Any better?
Yeah, much better.
Having peeked up and looked around, I'll duck back down and look around, or look under.
Okay.
Do you really need to tie him up here? Isn't there a better place to do this? If the guards wonder by this, will go very poorly.
If I was worried about the guards, I wouldn't have bothered.
What possible offense did this fellow commit in this?
I'm going to... Well, I'm assuming this halfling is now, like, tied up.
Subdued, totally. And
I'm going to lift him.
And you see the
and now
keys on the ground.
in my feet.
Yeah.
And I'm going to point to them and say, that. And then pick them up. Making sure to keep him away from my key, away from these keys. Or keep at least the halfling away from the keys.
Not quite yet, Veltris.
I would, if the keys are there and easy to pick up, Larkin would pick them up and say,
Okay.
so these are...
I'm sorry, what did you say? You cut out.
So these are your keys then.
He will hold out his other hand and say, yeah, they're kind of important. Can I have them back?
He sort of slightly shrugs. I mean, they're yours. Take them whenever you're ready to grab them or hold them so they don't get lost until then.
Is there a way that I can, like, because of how this halfling is hog-tied, am I able to, like, sling him over a shoulder or something like that so that I can keep at least one hand free?
Yep, absolutely. It's going to seem really weird to you, Larkin, though, because this halfling's going to be slung over through an illusion.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, by this point, I think, now that, you know, combat's over and I have this guy, I think I would fade the illusion, so I'd go back down to my 6'3" self. The
Fair
wings
enough.
are probably just now fading because it's a 1 minute transformation.
Yeah, how does that look when they fade?
It actually kind of looks like, well, at first both of them like slam down to the floor as though they are made of stone and then crumble into dust and then kind of disappear as though they never existed.
Ah, very nice.
Larkin would probably grasp at some of the dust as it dissipates and try to capture some of it. Oh, what is this? So interesting. You
And it
are Why two?
disappears from his hand. It's technically not like real stone. It's just they're supposed to be like incorporeal. So I just am flavoring them to look real.
Here I was thinking I was the most strange-looking person in this town.
You're not wrong, says a person from another tent.
Smile back. Well, if I were you, I would take this fellow or this person somewhere where there are less likely to be guards patrolling anytime soon. You're gonna have to answer some questions if you have somebody hogtied over your shoulder.
I intend to. I need my keys first, and Roman will attempt to take them from Larkin.
You can have them, they're yours, and I pass them over. But I think I'll come with you and make sure you don't do anything untoward to this tiny person. Seems uncharitable for me to just let you tackle somebody at my stall and run away with them without any interrogation.
And this is about the point in time that Veltris would, well, actually, I don't know if Veltris would. Veltris, we got to do a couple rolls for you to find out if you can figure out where these people are. So, Veltris, I'm going to get you to roll for me. Let's go with a survival check. Ooh, not bad. So you're able to see where there was a kind of go over to where you think Roman was able to try to find it was chasing somebody down, and you do see a little bit of a dust up in the ground, where obviously there was some sort of a conflict, and then immediately some fairly small feet start moving away. The stride isn't quite as big as your running stride, but it's pretty close. And it just starts tearing down the back alley. You notice some more some more footprints that are a little bit larger. You now are assuming that it's going to be Romans, and they suddenly disappear. And so you end up spending a little bit of time trying to track the smaller footprints. And a couple of places you're able to find it. More likely what you're actually able to find is the evidence of other things being knocked over, like crates or hay that's been kind of fallen into and things like that. And you use that as a way of trying to get yourself to where you think these small feet went to. And then as you just kind of break through an alleyway, the full center market opens up in front of you, like, and you lose the tracks. In the center market, you've completely lost the tracks. There's just too much foot traffic on the ground here.
She'll kind of start calling out to Roman, seeing if he's in the area.
Okay.
Or at least
And
within earshot.
sure, Roman, throw me a perception check. Let's see if you notice.
Let's find out.
Oh yeah, you hear him or hear her. Yeah, so you hear her kind of across. It's a lighter dim because they are cleaning up anyway, and so what you're mostly hearing is crates kind of the wood against wood scraping kind of sounds of crates and wagons kind of getting loaded up, and then you suddenly hear this somewhat melodic voice of Veltris calling out to you, in comparison to everything else around you. At any rate, calling out to you, Roman.
Am I able to tell which direction? I kind of landed in this place and started a scuffle, so I don't know exactly whether or not Roman would be very oriented at the moment.
Sure. How about I give you a bit of a picture?
That would be helpful. I
Okay.
do not know the mapping of Melvant, so...
Give me one moment here as I put you guys into this so that you can see.
Romano, wherefore art thou, Roman?
Let's go like that. Oh, that was the wrong one. Interesting. Actually, let's get you right here, and then let's get you. For whatever reason, it didn't copy Rowan's token, and get you right there, and let's get our dear old halfling as well. Copy and. This didn't exactly turn out the way I was expecting, but I'm okay with that. I like it when that happens. There we go. Let's see here. Let's bring you guys onto it. All right. Let's get you some vision on this.
Ooh, I actually do have vision on this at the moment.
Beautiful.
Yes.
I'm trying to get
I
the
think it's
stream
at the
vision
daytime,
too.
so.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the stream vision too.
Mm.
And there we go. It'll take a little bit for it to load up on the stream, but there we are. Welcome to Center Market in Melvont.
Alrighty. So if I look around now, can I see Veltris? I don't know how many of these tents are currently like taken down.
They're all still up. These are actually the ones that are. You can see some of the wagons that are packing some things up. But no,
Okay.
you can't see Beltris at this point.
Okay, but I did definitely hear her.
Definitely.
All right. Then I guess I will finally answer Larkin's statement and say, well, I guess if you intend to follow, just don't cause trouble. I'd rather not have to put another person 6 feet in the floor. And he will then start walking towards Veltris's voice.
Larkin will call after. You sound like a dangerous person. Maybe letting you walk off with somebody hogtied is not such a great idea.
He'll look back over the other shoulder that the halfling is not on and say, "It's happening anyways, whether you want it to or not. He's stolen from me. I'm going to deal with it."
Unless, of course, the guards get involved, in which case you'll be in a cell somewhere for a couple of months, and nothing will happen to you of interest.
Actually, Larkin, what you probably would say is you probably wouldn't have said that you'll be in the cell. You'll probably be in the livestock pen.
A livestock pen, even better.
I've dealt with worse than livestock.
Yes, but have you dealt with the inconvenience of being stuck there for a month or two?
I lived in a barracks for 4 years. I think I can handle that.
For interest's sake, the livestock pen, would have learned this by now, Larkin. That is the name of the structure to the top right, which is the slave market. So if he goes to the livestock pen, he becomes enslaved.
Gotcha. Well, it's not.
Yes,
not
the
just-
open air is a way to keep me trapped. That's fun.
Take it from somebody who has an exotic look to them. Being a slave here is not a good thing. You may find yourself in the hands of a captor who is smart enough to pin you to the ground.
Then I'll deal with it if it happens. As of right now, I have business to deal with. He's just going to keep walking. At this point, he's not bothering to stop to talk. He's just going to continue walking.
Larkin, are you just going to abandon your tent there then too?
I'll sigh and I'll look around. Is there like a nearby merchant that Larkin has been moderately friendly with by chance?
Yeah, you could say that there's it would be probably a gnomish creature in the red tent nearby you, who, by the very nature that she is a gnome, has kind of taken a liking to the other strange one in the camp, and she does knitted things instead, tea cozies and such.
Larkin will call over to her. Madam Weaver, if you wouldn't mind, could you please pack up some of my wares and make sure they get on a cart? I'll come back for them. A couple gold coins in it for you, if you will.
A couple gold, I can handle that for sure.
So generous, thank you. And
Take
I
care of
won't
yourself.
leave the gold on the table. I'll just have promised it, and
Yeah.
we'll see what happens later.
She's a sweet one, so she's no problem. I can handle this. And she starts immediately going over to your masks and layering them out in pretty close to the same way that you've been doing it for the past few weeks.
Perfect. And then I'll chase after the retreating, formerly winged person carrying the halfling.
Okay, so you guys are going to carry the halfling back to Marisol's place, to the Hall of Flags cartography.
I'm going to take the alleyways
Sweet.
back towards the cartographies. But yes, because, I'd rather not have to deal with guards. I gotta find it. Hang on. Oh, do I have disadvantage on stealth checks with chainmail?
Yes, you do.
Yikes. Can I give myself guidance for this?
Yeah, you can give yourself guidance because you know that you're trying to be sneaking and not having guards notice.
Alrighty. Okay, then yeah, I'm gonna give myself guidance. Do I have a macro for this? I don't have a macro for guidance. What kind of a maniac am I?
The audacity.
I'll do it later. I'm just gonna roll a d4 after I roll the stealth check.
Audacity. All right.
Yikes.
Yep.
9.
All right. That is enough. The guards are not paying any attention. The guards are too busy. As you actually get towards the south end of the market, the large brown tent at the bottom there, Veltris, you can now see through the tent pegs. But you also see some guardsmen coming up to you from your right, from the left-hand side of the map. But they're not really paying attention to what they're doing. They're actually just finishing up a conversation with the lady in the gray tent there. You realize that this lady is, classically attractive. By classically, I mean that the corset is definitely doing her some favors, and they're paying attention. So you're able to actually get across the street with this halfling, which is not struggling very easily because of the ropes. I'm going to say that you probably gagged them too.
Yes.
Yeah.
It would have been part of the whole hog tie thing, so that he
Yeah.
can't really move even if he wanted to.
Yeah, so you're now, and then you quickly run across to Veltris, which you happen to notice. Veltris managed to find you by the exact same trail that you realized the halfling came running through, so you kind of give her props for that.
I definitely would, yeah. I'll definitely give her a nod and say, it's nice tracking.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Definitely a little different to how I did it, but we'll talk about it later. Oh, wait, Veltris never saw the wings. Perfect. I don't have to explain anything. Although Larkin might ask about them, and then the whole party's going to ask about it, and then I'm screwed either way.
All right, we're going to shift gears back over to while you guys are making your way back to Hollow Flags. Unless there's anything in particular you guys wanted to talk about on your way over.
I think Larkin would stay
Not
close.
particularly other than introductions. Trying to figure out who the new person is.
So, Larkin, why don't you describe what you look like so the people on the stream can tell too?
Yeah, so Larkin is he's rather tall for an elf. He has a dusky complexion, mostly solid blue eyes with a little milky white center at the pinpoints there. He's dressed in greens and teals and browns that look worn and sort of traveled. He has a ring on one finger and a bag on his side slung over where he has some other wooden objects sticking out. He also wears a belt with a mask hanging off the side. At the moment, it would probably be a pair of masks that look like wicked goblin faces. They're made of wood. And his hair is tied back in a ponytail that's tight and behind his head that just sort of.
And so, Larkin, you see as you get across the to the alleyways, this lady with long black hair wearing gleaming armor, shiny like it's never seen a scuff, it's never seen damage. It looks like it just came straight out of one of the most high quality smithies you've ever known.
You will also notice on her right arm a very out of place, grim black gauntlet. If you know anything about religion,
Obvious sign of a god on it or something.
yeah, it's two symbols. She's kind of defaced the gauntlet.
Why don't you roll a religion check real quick, Larkin, for me?
Not his strong suit, so we'll see.
Go ahead and tell him which god it is, Veltris.
This is a gauntlet generally associated with the worship of. But you would also notice markings of the god on the rest of it.
Larkin would take note of this and stop, his mouth opening, and then thing. You travel in interesting company. I'm starting to get nervous about following you in back alleys.
Roman will turn. I'm assuming Larkin is like just following. I'm assuming at a distance now.
No, he would have caught up. He would have like sprinted to catch up.
Okay, then yeah, Roman will look over his shoulder and say, "If you don't want to follow, you don't have to." Following, I haven't told you no.
And now I feel obliged. If something happens to this poor person over your shoulder, the guards are certain to seek me out. Somewhat drow ancestry, I'll find myself in the slave pens.
You're also very thankful you're in the back alleys because the sun is now low enough that the shadows are casting down on you.
Well, best we get somewhere out of sight and out of sound. The night will give us some cover soon enough. But I'm eager to know what you're all about and how I can extract myself from the situation without too much trouble with the local.
All right. We're going to switch gears then. We're going to go back to Marisol. You've been working over this cult fanatic. How has that been going so far for you? Go ahead and let's see if we can get into it for you.
Should Odom get a shot at it first, though? Because
Yeah.
Talking.
Oh, yeah. To a cart.
Cart.
Yeah, you're right. Autumn, you went to a cart.
Yeah.
What were you doing at the cart?
I mean, I was just gonna check to make sure nothing got stolen, because it sounds like he's like, well, we already got you, and I.
Go ahead and roll
So he's
investigation
probably
check.
just doing inventory as usual in the cart.
Okay. So, yeah, with your inventory, you're able to see that in the cart. Which you now suddenly think is kind of odd, because it was largely abandoned, and you had this tussle.
I'm just gonna get a little paranoid and just kind of hang out on the cart, I think, for a bit. Just keeping my eyes out.
Okay.
As best as an Odom can.
All right, then, Marisol. Anything additional you wanted to do?
Just have been like basically repeating the same question of like.
Okay. As you break the second finger, he passes out from pain. He was at 1 hit point, and like he's unconscious now.
Is he bleeding?
He's not bleeding, but his fingers look really. Not really even reacting.
Okay. I'm going to stand up, curse in Orcish, Draconic, and Orvish, and then stride out to the front to look for Veltris and curse when I can't see her.
Okay.
Veltris did make a note that she was looking for Roman.
Noticed that Roman was gone. She kind of peeked. Hey, you are gonna kill him. Back. I'm gonna go look.
Yeah. I'll look over to Serge and say, "Where the hell did she go?"
And Serge is going to look back to you and say, she looked like she was trapped a couple buildings over. She'll be back.
Great. And witness passed out. Fuck.
You got 2 more. What do you mean?
Well, and Serge will have actually thugs and will have just been kind of sitting down or kind of kneeling beside them, looking them over, not even saying anything. And just kind of say, I don't think you guys know anything. Thugs will say, these 2 thugs will both kind of look at each other and say, one of them will actually lift up his hand and point very casually towards the now passed out cult fanatic and say, Serge looks back at you and says, these guys don't have anything. I don't think. that cult fanatic honestly has anything either. I think he's just trying to look brave.
He pissed himself. He's not looking much more than pathetic right now.
Well, that is very, very, very true. Just not sure that, breaking more fingers is going to actually get him to loosen his tongue, too.
Actually, physically loosen his tongue. I know some techniques for that.
Saying this to somebody who plays a mute character who lost their ability to speak by that exact reason. Yikes!
So Serge's going to say, I don't know what they are yet, but I think there's better ways.
Well,
And actually lay his hand on your shoulders. Listen, we don't see eye to eye, but I get it. I think we just need to take a beat.
Marisol looks like she tenses up for really quickly as soon as Surge lays a hand on her shoulder, and then incredibly confused when it's Surge of all people that's trying to come, or at least talk her down from doing violence.
Yeah.
And she kind of just looks to Surge, then eyes go downcast and to the side. Hand runs quickly through her hair and tugs at her bandana. Where the hell is Veltris? I can't have him bleeding out in my shop right now.
And Serge will say, if he's just bleeding here, give me a second. And he takes a step outside and starts saying, Veltris? Just kind of walking around outside. And actually, just as you hear Autumn on the cart, you hear Serge step out and say, shout out. Actually see Veltris come around a corner with Roman, who's now carrying what basically looks like a small and a another creature. Have you seen drows? I don't think you've seen drows before.
Read about them.
Yeah. So you okay?
And
So
I assume they fit a description I've heard, but
yeah. So slightly shorter than the average elf usually. Is that true for you too, Larkin?
He's actually a little bit taller than the average elf because he's a half elf.
Okay. Oh, that's true. Yeah. So he's so you're noticing particularly the deep shade of skin tone that he has, and immediately recognize there's something drow up with this. Roman in particular is carrying a sack.
as the Romans do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
despite the fact that he's wearing a face mask.
So, Larkin, as you come around the corner, you do see this wagon. You see a dwarf in the back of the wagon, seeming to be counting things up.
Another of your companions, I assume.
Yeah, he's a friend. Hello, I found the guy who got away. And I kind of gestured up towards the apparent sack on my shoulder.
It's actually a humanoid. Small humanoid. You take pride in realizing that you're probably...
Oh yeah, no, obviously. I'm a giant by comparison.
Especially now. Now you're so much taller.
And so...
Who do you...
I...
just a random... There were only 3 of...
Yeah. We missed one.
Oh.
And I'll show the keys towards Odom, making sure to keep... because I don't fully trust him yet. But showing Odom the keys to show that, yeah, no, we actually missed one.
Oh.
And Serge will notice, will step aside the wagon at this point in time to see the keys, like, oh, shit. Up at Larkin, say, oh, shit. And Larkin, what you see... Roll a a quick insight check for me.
Okie dokie.
Okay, so with this, this person steps up beside the wagon. You see a fairly young, slightly blue-skinned humanoid. You've never seen a human with this color of skin. Kind of looks like he's sweating a little bit.
Hello. I suppose now I'm starting to buy a bunch. No, I should introduce myself. And I'll sort of do a small flourish with my hand. My name is Lon, who seems to have globbed onto your friends here after I tackled this wee little one in my stall.
And will raise his eyebrows and look at you and says, pleasure? And immediately start walking back towards the front of the building. Pause long enough to turn around again and say, are you coming? And then just carries on into the building.
Yeah.
Upon reaction, Odom's like, "Oh yeah, no, let's go."
Yeah.
He realizes the cart is safe enough.
Would motion for Veltris to go on ahead because knowing, having some understanding of what just happened, Veltris may be needed for healing purposes on the inside. But he's gonna check with Odin before he jumps off the cart to make sure nothing was missing.
Yeah, I would give you the yeah, everything looks good. It's
then-
really weird.
Hey, I mean, people do crazy shit. Look at this one. He again gestures to the halfling on his shoulder.
Is there real quick? Is there like any signs for Larkin who's new to the scene that like I don't know these people are like torturers or anything? They have any like dangerous implements sitting around or like bloody weaponry?
I'm gonna get you a roll. You get to choose perception or insight.
Stick with insight because he's trying
Okay.
to determine who they are.
Okay.
Oh boy.
It's really tough to get a beat on them. The dwarf one out of the group, and there doesn't seem with the dwarf as to whether or not he is sincerely open or simply oblivious to what's going on around him. One or the other.
Also, Odom would vaguely remind you of a
Oh, yes, that would be true. That is very true, and that would immediately raise up a flag or two for you.
Is he wearing like obvious like Thayan design or like symbols?
really.
Yeah, Autumn, are
But
you
it-
wearing that?
No.
Okay.
Like it's very. It's obviously some ornate red robes, but they're like golden, like trimmed, and they have some weird like symbol. Probably recognize it as dwarfish if you have any mild comprehension of it.
Larkin's like knowledge of doors is pretty limited, other than maybe the Duger. So
Yeah.
You'd kind of be like, I'm not quite. Again,
So-
it
Robes
depends
are
on
interesting.
How familiar you are.
Yeah, in this case, you would probably like it would just remind you of their garb, but it wouldn't make you feel like he's one of them.
DM for you, does Larkin know enough about the red robe person he was sort of investigating to like know this may or may not be that person?
He would know immediately this is not the same person.
Just making sure. He'll put his hands on his hip and like glance back at the alleyway and the fading light behind him and decide with a long sigh, well, I've come this far, I may as well go the rest of the way, and just sort of follow them into the building.
Actually, the big signaler would be the lack of tattoos.
There you go. So as you step into the building, what you're going to see is a passed out individual wearing a dark black hooded cloak, and two thugs kind of sitting on the side beside, sitting. Actually, they're probably sitting against the west wall of the Hall of Flags cartography. and you'll see Indani, the purple tiefling, just kind of keeping watch over those two thugs, and a half.
Said half orc's like a good like 6'1", obviously like well over 200, pure wall of muscle, barefoot in some pretty like well worn trousers clothes with a bandana with some Comantherin pattern up in a ponytail, and she is just like glaring daggers at everyone coming in the doorway. Immediately beelines it for first goes jabs a finger over her shoulder. I broke another finger. He needs healing. And then I look to Roman. Where the hell have you been?
I lift up the iron keys that you lost, but don't.
Are those like 100% the keys I had, like the skull keys?
Yep, your perception was low enough.
I'm so annoyed. Said half ranch and mumbles something about an apology, but it's not very audible. Keys and like makes a pretty big show of putting them right between her. And then looks back to Roman. Then she looks to the drow. So is that the one that took them from me?
No, this one is, and he points to the hogtied halfling that's still on his shoulder. And now he points towards Larkin.
Helped you. You picked up another fucking stray.
Sir
Well,
says,
when it-
"Hey,
One up.
Larkin start gesturing. I want just a local concerned citizen, not looking to get put in the slave pens when some people tumbled into my merchant stall. And I had to make sure you were all on the up and up.
I over to Larkin, obviously looking to be intimidating, and glower at him. This before you end up getting hurt and wrapped up in something you do not want to be part of.
Larkin, as you can't have some similarities."
He'll just hold his ground and meet her gaze. Why aren't you? You seem like you'd be rather fierce on the battlefield and in other ways.
Reference, Wendy, was that a reference to the human features Marisol's got?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Was that a reference to the human features Marisol's got?
Nope. You don't know.
Oh. Interesting. I just like glare daggers at Larkin. And jab a finger over my shoulder with the rest of the hog. Done with the rest. I need air. And then like Larkin, like very obviously intentionally doing it as I spin around, storm through the hallway.
Alright. And with the keys
Roman-
and your cleavage. Okay, gotcha. I'm with you.
Rowan will put down the hogtied halfling quite far out of reach of the other thugs, but still in their vicinity.
As you
before
do
turning to
that, one of the thugs just kind of swears under his breath. Shit.
Roman will look at both of them. I'm assuming they're sitting like next to each other, kind of thing.
Yeah, pretty much. They're not really doing much. They're just kind of bleeding.
Chilling at this point.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, he'll look at both of them and say, "Yeah. Don't try it again. Next time you will end up 6 feet in the ground."
Larkin
And
will
one-
chime in.
So go
You
ahead.
keep saying that phrase. What does that mean, 6 feet in the ground?
When you bury a dead person, you put them 6 feet in the floor so they can't climb their way out if someone tries to raise them from the dead.
Ah, well, where I come from, we're all always in the floor, so to speak. Interesting phrase.
When you put someone 6 feet in the floor.
That's, you know what, Roman. As you say that, Roman, I gotta get you to roll a quick intelligence check.
Is this to see if what I actually said was true? Because he honestly doesn't care, but I'll see. I'll go for it anyways. That was not meant to be with advantage. It's an 8.
Okay.
I don't think I pass anyway, but
Yeah, no, that's good. Thank you very much.
It's being good for a change. What is going on?
it's not good. It was an 8. 8's not great.
Dude.
It's good enough for what I needed to know.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's or not, right?
No, I was mostly just to see if you actually can clue into things, but that's okay. The the halfling is still bound and gagged there.
Yeah, I guess he'll gesture to look at the. Don't touch that one. He's slippery. And then look to the same look and say, "I'd suggest you do the same."
Well, I'm not going to get any of him on me, blood or otherwise, so you can not worry about that. If the guards storm in, I'm going to look as much a hostage as these fellows. I don't quite
We
know
can
all
tie
of
you
yet.
up.
I wouldn't go that far. That seems like a bit much, doesn't it?
It is a bit much. You did help me. Can I actually
Well, if
speak
you
to you
want
outside
to
for a
look like
moment?
a captive,
Say it again,
Just
Autumn.
to
if he wants to look like a captive,
you just drop at me if they come in. How about that?
Yeah. Did you hear what I said, Larkin, about speaking outside?
I didn't. Sorry, can you say it again?
Yeah, Roma would have asked you after stating the comment and Odin made his if Larkin would be okay with speaking.
Of course, lead the way.
And he's going to make it a clear point that he make sure that the rest of the party is inside still. Is that a true fact?
Marisol, I think, went to the study, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, and
So then,
I
yes.
think Roma would have seen that. So then, yeah, all right, he's fine. He will go outside with Larkin.
Odom wants to try to listen to Odom thing.
All right.
The door will be closed, so you'll be listening through a door,
I mean,
which
I'm
is
gonna-
fine. I mean,
I'm gonna try
unless
to be
Roma,
stupid
Yeah.
with this thing.
yeah,
Go
I mean,
ahead, roll
unless Roma
perception.
smacks you in the go for it. You're not gonna get a whole lot out of it, even if you do hear. So,
Go ahead.
he's gonna hear every single word, but you know what? He doesn't get anything about it. So unless
Okay.
unless
Well, go for it,
Larkin
Roman.
says something. Yeah, I'm gonna couple steps away from the door. I'm gonna look to Larkin and say, "What you saw in the marketplace didn't happen. The rest of it didn't. Am I clear with that?
You mean with the wings and all that?
Yes, that didn't happen. The
Well, if
rest
it
of them
didn't-
don't know. I would rather keep it that way."
Well, if it didn't in a low voice, maybe you shouldn't have done it in front of 30 or 40 people.
I'm not worried about merchants who I'll see.
Merchants
my
like to
friends.
gab.
And they can continue to gab about a masked man who's tall. I am not 7 feet tall, and though I am masked, I do not have a set of wings.
Fair enough, I'm used to keeping those sort of things, personal details, secrets. I mean, look at me, judge. But I just want to ask real quick, can you just tell me what is going on here? Why did you tackle that halfling? And why are you all so dangerous looking?
Well, each of us comes from a different background. Look the way that I do for other reasons, unrelated to this. but we particularly needed not exactly the halfling, but the keys that he had. I took the halfling in case he knew anything else. This shop belongs to one of my friends, the lovely half-orc lady you just met.
That's a word for it. Lovely.
Yeah, and those other three that you just saw inside attempted to attack us. That halfling was with them and took those keys from us. So,
Okay. Simple thieves, or what exactly is the setup here? Is this some sort of heist?
I currently don't know. I left the battle to track down that halfling. So, you know about as much as I do at this moment. I don't even know who they're working for, though those inside might. I intend to find out.
Can I ask you real quick, other than your red-robed friend, have you seen anyone else with a red robe around here?
Would I have seen anyone else in a red robe around here? I doubt it, but...
Not seen anybody else wearing a red robe.
Okay. Roman's eyebrows kind of scrunched together in a very confused manner when you specify red robes, and replies, "Does the red robes matter at all? People do tend to wear disguises. You saw me do one earlier."
It only matters in the right circumstances. Never mind that. What about somebody who looks a little like me? This skin color, pointed ears, white hair.
That, I think, would be a definite no from me, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Similar answer. No, but kind of confused as to why you're asking.
Well, all the same, I think it's best I stay with you all for a bit and see how this plays out. If I had too quickly, it might be suspicious if any guards saw us come this way. I have my story straight before I accidentally bump into the local authorities.
I'm sure you're fine with your stories, but as long as, even if you end up mentioning us, we didn't kill anybody. They're all still alive in there. Just a
And
simple misunderstanding. Guards
he'll
have already
wink at
heard
you.
about it.
He'll wink at you, and you don't.
He looks either side of him and says, "You're correct. I don't." And then ahead of him.
As you open up the door, Autumn almost falls off of it.
Does this door open outward or inward?
Inward, so you'll actually push him over.
Oh. There is another confused look and then slight angerment, but no words.
Autumn scrambles off.
Veltris. To check in with Veltris. Is there anything in particular you... Oh, hang on. Veltris is on the bio break. I'll come back into that in a sec.
I was just going to motion for Larkin to enter.
Okay, Veltris, you're here. Anything else in particular that you are doing?
Other than tending to the cultists since Marisol, really.
Okay. All right. Marisol, you're in the study. Anything in particular you're doing?
I am first, like, as soon as I get in, the door behind me really quickly and just stand there, chest heaving, taking very deep, angry breaths for a good few minutes before calming down, and then to my mom's desk, running my hands along the wood of it, especially where I bang my head on it when I and then fondly touch the statue, rubbing it in the same spot my mom constantly did for good luck, and then just like take a seat, go over to the desk chair, pull it out slightly, and like grip the wood, push it back, and just collapse to my knees, and just spend the next half hour basically just in the fetal position behind myself.
Okay. Well, as you guys walk back into the Marisol is having her own private moment. You walk in, and the halfling starts kind of rocking back and forth.
Unless Veltris is going to make a move first, Roman would walk over and tighten the rope just a little tighter. I'll talk to you later.
Kind of gestured towards the cultist.
I'll talk to you later. And then he'll kind of stand up and kind of give the halfling a glare again. Steps away.
Okay. One of the thugs is going to speak and say, got any food? Seriously, we're done. Like, job's done. I'm hungry.
This cleared up. We'll figure something out related to food.
Okay. You got healing potions?
Not for you.
Mm.
He'll walk over there and look to see how bad he's hurt, though.
He's fucked up. Really rough.
Wait. Oh wait. I forgot both of the. Which one's the ones with the holes in them?
The one on the left has. Well, one of them is got more radiant damage than holes. The other one's got more holes than radiant damage.
I'm assuming the one with holes is the one that's complaining at the moment.
Yeah.
Because I think radiant damage it's more.
Yeah. It's like sunburn kind of idea is what you can is one way you can think about it, or like in some cases it could be like chemical burns or like radiation poisoning kind of burns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sunburn look.
Yeah. I'll give. Let's see. How much? When do I get these back? Is this a short rest? It's fine. It's getting close to the end of the day, anyways. I will give each of them one use of my healing light ability. I'm not kids.
Okay. And that gives them how many points each?
The first one gets 2. It's 4.
All right. So you can see some of the holes kind of stitch up, particularly around the fella who was complaining about hunger. You can actually hear his tummy grumble just a little bit more now. He's like, thanks. And the other one kind of rolls his shoulders across his neck back to the pale color that it was before. He says, that was kind of mighty decent of ya.
Yeah. You guys seem to be, other two.
Oh no, we're related. We just don't know what the hell they're doing.
That's my point.
Well,
but he'll get up and kind of walk away. He'll stop to what this guy's saying, but
he says, the sooner you believe us, the sooner we could go and get food.
Like I said, once we get this figured out, we'll figure out a food situation. Just letting you go.
Okay, and then they start kind of turning to each other and start talking. Oh, fish? Oh, I want.
The Roman's gonna go over towards Veltris though, and ask. While I was chasing that one down.
Player brain fart.
You could just relay at this point that of what Marisol did during the interrogation. Do you want to relay? Your audio is cutting in and out a little bit.
Trying to think of how much.
Oh, okay.
I mean, she trusts Roman. She'd probably tell him everything she knows. Up
Okay, so-
until she
I can see these
left.
broken fingers.
Oh yeah. Cultist is kind of on his side with the manacle, with his hands manacled behind him, and you can most definitely see the deformity in a couple of his fingers.
Ah,
Marisol is definitely not a happy camper right now.
this is her shop. Would you expect her to be? Roman's gonna go over towards the cultist. Do the fingers look broken?
Broken, very much broken.
Ah, all right then. For now he's gonna leave him be. He doesn't
Okay.
want to do interrogations at the moment.
Okay. Well, and about a half hour passes. What we could say at this point in time is that everybody can say that they've taken a short rest. And at the end of this
How
short
many
rest,
warlocks? Spell slots do I have? This is so confusing with multi-class. How many
I
do I get
know.
at level 1? Is it
Warlock-
2?
I think it's 2.
I'm looking at the moment. I just pulled out my
Okay.
PHP.
Beauty. Okay. So, of having your moment in your mother's study and kind of having that complete decompression, your body just feels tired. Your mind, your heart feels tired. Take a deep breath. And maybe steel yourself again for the next thing.
I stand up, legs a bit shaky at this point, and just like take a moment and just silently mutter, "Wish you were here," and then walk out of the room and back into the floor.
All right. As you walk, the halfling still bound up against the wall, separated from the two thugs, who just seem to be having casual conversation with each other. The cultist still unconscious. You see Larkin still in the room, just kind of observing. And as you would enter the room, he would immediately turn to look at you.
Back already.
I give like I go for a glare, but it kind of just falls flat. And just leave him off. And walk over to my, get them as like much in a circle, still being able to watch the other people in the room as possible, and say, let's give this the night. I want sets up 2 watching all of these jokers and locks on the door if possible. If anyone hears anything suspicious at all, you immediately yell. I'm not taking chances with this.
Serge kind of looks to you a little bit and says, "I'm going to imprison them for the night."
Do you have a better idea? They attacked us, stole my keys, and they're with the Zentarum.
As the halfling kind of starts talking up, and Serge says, "I don't know that those two in the corner over there are going to have any clue. I don't know if you're so tired as to not even just ask the questions now. We
Yeah,
can
I am.
You are?
Yeah, I am very fucking tired. So I would like to get some this again.
All right.
I'm assuming it's like the equivalent of like 10 p.m. or something at this point.
It's getting on. Yeah, the sun is down. But it's just getting on.
Yeah, my
But
intention.
you're probably emotionally exhausted though too, which probably doesn't help the situation at all.
Yeah, my intention is like 100% of a long rest at this point,
Okay.
essentially. So unless anyone like openly into that, that's like what Marisol is going to be doing.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? I never actually bothered to ask this the first time.
Sure.
That halfling,
Yes.
is that the same halfling that I saw shadowing us outside the city walls?
Aha, history check.
This was like yesterday, or this morning, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, I don't know shit.
You remember there was a halfling, but all you could see was its silhouette. So you have no idea whether or not it's the same one.
Can I ask Surge, since Surge was the original one to spot the halfling?
Surge would tell you that I just saw the shape. However, Surge will also say, "All right, if y'all are gonna take a rest, I'm gonna go for a walk. Get some salt air in my nose."
I give a
fine.
very dismissive wave and just like clearly do not care at all.
Right. And so he steps out and just walks out into the night air. The rest of you
I
guys.
say something to, I want to say something to Larkin first.
Okay.
Since I think he's probably still slightly huddled.
Yep.
And Larkin's just kind of like off in a corner at the moment, not with the rest of us.
He would probably be leaning against the nearby wall, watching the prisoners, just studying them, just realizing he's not a part of your group, so staying out of it for now.
Okay, yeah. Roman will look over to Larkin and say, "If you have a place to stay for the night, I suggest you head there. I would like to thank you for the assistance with the slippery one over there." And he kind of gives a nod towards the halfling and say, "You seemed curious about our intentions with them. I guess if you wish to see their fates, not that it will be grim, hopefully, I suppose it wouldn't be disliked if you returned in the morning, since now you know where we are."
Seems likely you might slip away in the evening if I leave you all here, but I suppose I'm powerless to stop you either way.
Well, like I said on the way here, this is my friend's shop. As of right now, we have no intention of leaving.
Very well then, perhaps I'll see you in the morning and we can settle this affair.
He'll give you a nod and kind of glare down at Odom for a second, and then go over towards the door to let Larkin out.
He'll glance back once at the tied up people and seem to sort of rub his chin and then smile and make his way out the door.
Roman will step out just behind him and kind of look to him as he's walking away and say, "Trust me when I said that their fates will most likely not be grim."
Most likely isn't very reassuring now, is it? I don't know them, they're not my personal friends, but still,
You
I
seemed
feel bad
concerned.
letting you, well, they were in that one was in my stall at least. I'm tied to, eyewitness accounts of them if somebody should come looking for them, so at least at the very least, I would like to get the story straight and hear from you what's going on. In the morning, as you said, perhaps, when people are in better spirits.
Yes. I wouldn't expect them to be dead in the morning, or something of the like, unless they, attempt to escape. These two untied ones may not be here in the morning. Not that they'll be dead. We probably won't keep them any longer.
Has anybody ever told you you're not a very reassuring person?
Many. I'm not intended to be.
Yes, well, that mask suits you well. I get nothing from you emotionally.
Yeah, I should say that, Roman's face mask is very much akin to like a Middle Eastern hijab, where it covers the entirety of his head and most of his face. Pretty much the most you can see are his eyes and eyebrows.
What did he look like when he was in the disguise self?
Similar, although instead of, he was like, you notice now he's not quite as hulked out as he was, and very clearly not as tall. He was very much the same in general appearance, although the armor would have, armor and clothing and mask would have all adjusted sizes to fit the new appearance that he was posing as, and the wings would have also adjusted slightly. Although you would have, may have been hard to tell, since as the illusion was dropping, the wings were dropping as well.
Gotcha.
All right, so Larkin is going to head back towards his tent. And Larkin, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, he'd probably gather his things, but at some point during the evening, he would, I think, probably cast augury and and ask a question here,
Okay.
to the fates, so to speak.
Okay. What would the question be?
Should I get involved with these strangers?
For the first time in months, since you arrived in Melvont, you feel a little bit of a warmer breeze blowing across your cheek. And you look up to the sky, to the moon, to Faerûn in particular, who you've come to learn that the surface dwellers call her, and a star comes streaking across the sky just above the moon. You get the unmistakable indication that the answer is yes.
Just say to himself, and smile, breathing in the warm air. Well, it appears fate has decided. Now just to figure out how to weasel in.
Where is everybody going to go sleeping tonight?
Wherever we are allowed. Although I think is going to want to ask Marisol a question first.
Okay, well, we'll check on...
She's kind of in charge at the moment, so I'll let you deal with the rest of the group first.
Okay, so Veltris, where are you going to try and find yourself some comfort and sleep when the time comes? Because everybody's going to be taking shifts.
Probably just find a corner to lean against while she goes in her little trance.
Okay. Say you'll find it behind one of the many scroll and bookshelves that are in the main space. Nearby where the thugs are, so like where you could see the thugs, but obviously across the room from them. Okay. Autumn, where are you going to go?
So as soon as Roman wanders off to go talk to Marisol, I'm gonna slip out of the building.
Okay. And what are you going to do?
I'm looking for my pearl. I've been told there's a store somewhere in the city that sells them. I'm gonna try to find it.
All right, roll a quick investigation check.
Does Odom not have any sense of time?
Odom's not nearly as drained as everyone else is.
Oh, but on the other hand,
I'm not sure that the shop will be open, is what I'm saying.
I mean, whatever.
So, Autumn, what you do is, as you're going through, you actually are able to find the shop that was being mentioned, Black Bucks in particular. And there is a light in the back window, and so you, being the person that you are, you knock loudly on the door, and eventually a man comes to the door. I'm gonna kind of go through this a little bit more quickly. Because I do want to try and get a little bit more in tonight if we can. But basically, they don't let you in. They're closed. They're annoyed that you even realized there was still somebody inside the building. But when you ask about a pearl, they relent and say that they had just sold their last one to Theodorus.
Right.
Well, and as you would say that, as they would say that, they would tell you only wizards ever ask for pearls anyway. And actually, this person will say, hang on a second. So the person would say, "Are you one of his friends?"
Probably not.
It's not often that you come across two dwarven wizards.
Interesting.
All right, have a great night.
You, it's not worth it. All right, bye. You're off.
All right.
And go back, find a place to sleep in the shop.
Okay. Go ahead.
Becky.
We'll say that you find. Let's say that Indani finds a blanket and is able to turn the under the stairs into a much more comfortable location for her.
She likes
And
those stairs.
apparently so. And Autumn, I think what we'll have you do is we'll set you up in with some of those same rags that were found in the top level, or one of the blankets that were up there, and we'll set you up in the dining room.
Sure.
Okay. You're gonna go and approach Marisol.
If she's not behind a locked door.
No, at this point, she'd just be like wrapping up, assigning watches with Indani and Beltress, and then like saying as Rusk a good night as she would be managing at this point.
Okay. Can I ask you something before we split ways at the moment?
She turns on her heel, looking very exhausted, and blinks very slowly. Fine, what is it?
Those two useless ones. Is it even worth keeping them here?
Until I know that they're 100% useless, yes.
Alright. I guess I might as well give them whatever Odin prepared upstairs then, since none of us decided to take advantage of it. And he'll go upstairs to the dining room where Odin's servants had prepared a dinner.
That's right. Yeah, it's cold, but it's there.
Yeah, that's
edible.
fine. He'll grab two of the plates and bring them down to those two thugs.
Okay. Who happily take it up. One of them looks to you and says, "You got something I could read in here while I'm waiting?"
He looks around at the entirety, looks behind him, and at the wall of books.
Yeah, just one of them. And the other thug says, "I didn't know you could read." "Shut up! I like the pictures."
Roman will there'll be a nod of realization and say, "Oh, you may not like those books. Those don't have any pictures in them."
Alright. I guess I'll just go to sleep.
Might be for the best. Once they're finished with their meals, Roman will take their plates, though.
Okay. So with that, well, we're gonna keep this nice and simple because the watch is gonna go very uneventfully. The halfling can't go anywhere. The thugs are decidedly not doing anything. At one point in time in the night, the cultist finally wakes up. It's about 3 hours into the night, actually, before they actually wake up, and they look up to the halfling long enough to recognize that they're present, and then they just let their head fall to the ground again and fall asleep. And so, with that, we can now say that, and particularly Veltress will probably be the first one awake because Veltress only needs a trance. Veltress, as you wake up, as everybody wakes up, The halfling is going to be toppled over as well, having tried to lean itself up in some sort of position of comfort and just kind of giving up and falling over instead. The thugs have actually managed to find themselves in a fairly... It looks cozy. They actually look very friendly. One head is in the crook of the other thug's shoulder. Adorable, really. And the cultist is still just face down on the floor. Slobber all over the ground.
Wonderful.
As you guys wake up.
Who would have done Final Watch? Would it have really mattered?
I hadn't actually gone to that, but we can... Is there a person who would have said that they would have definitely done Final Watch?
Well, I know Marisol was handing out watches, so I didn't know if she had any thing in mind as to who was with who.
To make it easy, we'll just say I did Final Watch.
Sure. So then that would mean that you and Veltris in particular would be the ones to first notice when the halfling wakes up and just... He just kind of starts worming and shuddering, trying to get himself back to an upright position, but he just can't because he's been tied too tight in the ropes.
I'd just be like crouched in against a wall, just watching them this entire time, like just really not looking like I slept much at all the night before.
Okay. Halfling's gonna look at you and just... Huh.
He gets daggers stared at him until someone else comes in the room.
I think out of the group, Roman would probably be the next earliest riser. I don't know how early of a riser Indani or Odin particularly are.
Don't think Indani is a major early bird, per se, but probably
Roman
would wake
only-
up a little bit earlier this time.
Yeah, Roman's only an early bird because, what is it, 17 years of military service of some
Yeah.
sort? So early rising is just something he's used to now, so.
So what we'll say then is, after a time, everybody seems to have arisen, except for Surge.
Ah.
And it's somewhere along the way you realize you haven't seen him.
Yeah, I wouldn't have paid any attention at all to that, I'm not gonna lie.
I think a couple of us others might, though.
Indani
I
would
don't
have
know who.
noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah, Indani would have noticed, and Indani would have mentioned... Has anybody seen Surge?
I don't
He-
think he came back after his walk. Do you want to try and see if you can find him? Hopefully he didn't get himself into trouble again.
Did he say anything to you, Veltris? This would be Indani seeing this.
No. Just
So Veltris,
going on a walk.
in the last episode, when you guys were still outside of the town, Surge had commented about how much he wanted to be back on the water.
Oh, okay. Well, he did comment that he wishes to return back to water.
So
He
Indani,
might be looking for a ship that he can board. Other than that, I do not know.
So Indani will turn to Marisol and say, "This is your show, but I think I should probably check in on him if I can."
I don't need you here for breaking fingers, so go if you need to.
She kind of shudders a little bit at that and says, "I think I might just." Right then, and she kind of gets up and steps out of the building and starts making... You can hear the seagulls off in the distance, a little bit of the dock bells, and You can also hear a little bit of the bustle of the beginning of a daylight starting to kind of take hold as Indani steps outside.
Before you go,
Oh, yes?
check if you're looking for ships leaving. One's going to Procampia.
Okay. Why am I looking for that?
Rumors of the Black Sun, Surge's ship was out that way. Didn't really get a chance to mention it to him.
Oh. Alright.
There's a
Thanks.
solid chance he might found those same rumors.
Indeed. Oh, camp here. Alright, I'll keep my ears open. And off she goes. Leaving you with Marisol, Autumn, Roman, and Veltris in the building.
Yeah.
Until Larkin appears, whenever that would be, Larkin.
Sometime in the morning, he wouldn't risk waiting too long. Wouldn't show up like when it's still dark. So as soon as dawn broke, probably.
Okay. So
He would tap on the door, maybe, or rap it on a few times with his knuckles.
I think Roman would probably be the one to answer, since I'm pretty sure Marisol would be a little hostile. assuming.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Autumn also would answer if no one else does, just for the record.
Yeah.
Please, Yoda.
Well, I don't know if Marisol was particularly in the room when Roman mentioned the fact that Larkin could come back.
She was not, so
Yeah,
we'll see how that responds.
Yeah, and knowing that, that's why Roman is going to be the one to answer the door. I think Marisol would find it suspicious if Odin was the one to answer the door.
As a player, that would find it hilarious for it to be Odom giving a grand welcome and Marisol just wanting to kill all three of them.
Probably, but yeah. He'll take the hit. I don't know. He'll deal with it. He's the one who offered.
So Larkin, Roman opens the door as you rap on it and welcomes you in.
So looking a little fresher today. Basic same appearance, but cleaned up more. Oh, you're still here. That's great. I was a little worried you weren't gonna hold true to your promise. But I guess the story about this being your friend's shop is true.
And as you see, none of the 4 idiots have been harmed. And at least not any farther than they were yesterday.
Hey, says one of the thugs. The other one says, seriously? You're gonna complain about them calling us idiots? There's worse things. Okay.
He'll look towards them and say, remember, you attacked us.
Larkin will
There
come
was
inside.
gold in it.
It's gold in a lot of things. Attacking armed people is not exactly a great way of getting it.
Agreed. Shut up.
Larkin will come inside and close the door behind him and sort of look at the rest of the group smiling, assuming they're all very excited to see him, but seeing clearly that that's not necessarily the case.
Autumn would be smiling. He'd look happy to see you.
Roman would make sure to lock the door after Larkin steps away.
And
You
the
know,
halfling is just looking back at Marisol the entire time.
When he hears the sound of the locked door, he would probably say, if I didn't have such a good rest, I think I might be nervous about you locking the door behind me, but I think I have a good feeling about your group. I slept on it.
The door has nothing to do with you. It's the 4 of them that I don't trust still.
The cultist is
Those
still
two
completely
sitting
passed out
over
and
there.
sleeping.
Yeah, those 2 over there might be fine. Though, I don't know for sure.
To be totally honest, they look a little bit like common street thugs. I don't really know what the concern is.
One of them puts his hand up. Guilty.
Yeah. Well, it's not what they are, it's who they were working with that is really our concern with them.
At this point, I'll stalk over to Roman and Larkin, giving like a pointed glare at Roman, and then holding the Zentaran symbol up to Larkin with like a very this looky here, expression on my face. This is what I was warning you about. Still want to be involved?
DM, would Larkin know what the Zents are? I assume so. They're a pretty decently well-known organization.
They're a relatively well-known organization, but you haven't necessarily known that you met one.
But he would know them by reputation, which is like slavers, mercenaries, that sort of stuff.
More, the reputation that you would have had actually would be more along the lines of selfish helpers. Because you've only been in Melvont in this particular region of the world. And so the phrasing that you would have gotten about who the Zents were that they look out for their own, and they make sure that their own are taken care of.
Larkin will squint at the badge and sort of smile. That looks awfully official. Who's that belong to?
Marisol looks at Rowan like, who the hell is this? And then looks back to Larkin, like, just a bit dumbfounded. The Zentarum, the Black Network, the slavers, mercenaries, spies, criminal organization that runs this region.
At this point in time, Veltris, who's been paying attention to the thugs a little bit while you guys are having this conversation, you're going to notice that the thugs kind of give a strong glance over to the halfling. What?
I'm sorry, I've been having some audio. What
Oh,
happened? I heard that I heard you, but I couldn't really hear what everyone else.
so Marisol was explaining that these people apparently worked for the Zentarum, and one of the thugs turned and looked at the halfling and said, "What?"
She'll kind of give him a quizzical look. Did you not know that's who they were?
We ain't no Zents.
Marisol quickly turns around. The hell does that mean? You're carrying one of their fucking symbols.
He is, points to the cultist. Well, was. You have it now. We don't care. We don't work for the Zents.
I zero in on the halfling. You might not, but that one might.
Maybe. Probably. Not us.
I will walk over to the halfling, kneel down on one knee in front of them, and they have a gag on, right?
The halfling does, yep.
Okay, I will take the gag off and like really quickly move my hand away in case they try to bite, and shove the Zent symbol in their face and just say, explain.
Kind of opens up his mouth and kind of stretches out his lips a little bit. Well, I think it's pretty obvious you know everything that you need to know right now. Yeah, I'm part of Zents. So are you, aren't you? These two idiots. No, they're not part of the Zents. Not at all.
I give him a look.
Spot.
Okay. And I'm just like,
Oh.
Yeah, we're part of the same organization, so why were you attacking from me? Why were you stealing from me?
I don't know anything I'm going to say to you right now is going to make any difference for you.
Will it make a difference if I tell Chop?
Honestly, I'm not sure about that. I don't even know if he... I don't know that he knows. I don't know that he would actually be concerned about it at all. It depends on what your interests are with those keys.
Uh, debating whether to inside him or not. I like put a hand to my chest, defensively. Oh, who told you to steal them from me?
Chop. Well, not really Chop. I assume it's Chop. Do you not know where they are?
Sorry, Wendy, what was that last one?
Do you not know what they are?
My eyebrows furrow quickly. Obviously not.
Well, we really aren't of any help to each other at all. Because neither do I, but apparently they're really friggin' interested in these things.
You're just a fucking errand boy, aren't you?
So what? You're an errand girl. What do you expect?
Somehow I'm slightly offended by that. I get back up and like look at the Zen symbol, toss it to the floor, and walk back over to Roman, Belchus, and Larkin, and Odom, sorry, and give them all a like slightly apologetic look. Well, this was fruitless.
I don't understand how 4 people don't even know who their own fucking employer is.
Hey, don't get your pantyhose in a knot. Seriously. Look at those keys. If they're as important as they say they're going to be, y'all got some spellcasters there. Figure it out.
I take the keys out of my chest. That's so awkward. And like giving them a once over, do I notice anything weird about them, like inscriptions or like markings or anything beyond just the skull on them?
What you do notice, paying particularly close attention to them, is the number of teeth that are on each key. That they don't all have the same number of teeth, and none of them have the same number of teeth.
Does it look like they're increasing in order, or
It does.
like, there's a pattern?
Yeah, and there are only 4 keys, so you can see there's 3 teeth, 4 teeth, 5 teeth, and 6 teeth on each on the different keys there.
There is an image of them in the journal tab.
Indeed. I will look between Odom and Roman and like clutch the keys in my hands for a second before, like, it looks like it's taking everything within me to do this, but I outstretch my hand towards Odom, open my fist, and without looking at him say, "Can you please do the magic thing on the keys?"
Again, no. I need the pearl. We haven't gotten the pearl.
You don't have detect
You
magic?
Figure out. Oh, I mean that works, yeah. Roman was gonna say, can't you at least figure out if it's magical?
Does that tell us anything? Really? I mean, look at it.
It'll give us a lead as to whether or not what we're looking for could be, dangerous or just some old man's stash. No offense,
Alright.
Marisol, but
I just kind of like open up my book and just say, set it on the book.
Again, takes everything in me, but I set it on the book.
And I take 10 minutes to cast detect magic because I'm not fast casting this.
Okay. Anything that's happening during these 10 minutes of casting, you're just going to let it happen?
Larkin would definitely sneak in and get a better look at what he's doing.
Okay.
I like look between Roman and Veltris and nod towards the thugs and the halfling and such, and say they're useless at this point. I think we should just let them go before the guard comes asking what happened to these idiots.
Yeah, I'll let Veltris, if you want to take care of those two. I'll deal with the halfling. There's something I want to say to him before we let him go.
Yeah, I can do that. She'll kind of start untying them one at a time and make sure that they leave.
They have no problem being guided out by you. One of them actually does turn to you and say, you know, if you're ever back in Melvont and you need some company, just let me know. Derek's
I'm
the
gonna give
name.
him a mom chop right across the fucking head.
Oh, could have just said no, damn it. Steps out.
That's funny.
Get
Alright.
the mom chop. Yeah, she'll escort the other one out as well.
I'm not asking. And he just steps out.
I'll go over to the halfling and kind of kneel down before untying him and say, next time you should probably be careful of who you attempt to steal from. I feel
Apparently.
like the next ones may break your fingers.
He kind of looks over at the cultist, who's still very much unconscious on the ground. And he says, is he alive?
He'll be fine.
Listen, I don't know what kind of shit you guys got yourselves turned up in. All I know is that they've been looking for some keys and... well, where there's that much interest, just be careful.
Yeah, I've kind of gathered that now that we've not only been, told to do one thing by somebody we didn't even know, and now attacked in here.
You guys gonna see Chab after this?
He'll look towards the cultist and towards wherever Marisol is standing, before looking back towards the halfling and say, I have a feeling it might be in the cards.
And you never saw me.
As long as you don't tell him you fucked up your job. Actually, you can tell him that. Just don't tell him who made you fuck it up.
Oh, I've got my own ways about that. You want to be shed in a good light. I want to be shed in a good light. Let's do a good deed.
Oh, I want to insight check him so bad right now.
Go for it.
God, my dice tonight.
As far as you're concerned, he's being on the level. He's being legit about wanting to not be thrown under the bus with Chubb, and that you feel like he's probably going to do the same for you.
All right.
Because you let him live.
Yeah, that's fair. But I'm gonna solidify his word for him, and say, kind of squint my eyes at him and say, if I find out that you didn't keep up your end, I will personally break your fingers.
He looks
and then
to
I will
you.
go and untie him and make sure, basically pick him up and drop him out the front door.
Okay. As his feet are kind of kicking out in the air, as you're kind of carrying him, he says, listen, there's always more than meets the eye. You guys are proof. Don't underestimate anybody. Maybe not even me. And he steps out.
I will close the door and lock it again. And now all we have left is an unconscious cultist. Right? He's still unconscious, isn't he?
He is unconscious, yeah. You're actually starting to wonder whether or not he's actually going to regain consciousness. But as you begin to wonder this, the detect magic spell completes. And Autumn, opening your eyes at knowing that your magic has been released, you look to the keys, and there's no aura around the keys at all. What you do notice, on the other hand, is down beneath the stone. You guys are on the main level. beneath the stone underneath the hallway is aura, large aura, maybe human-sized, of conjuration magic. Seemingly in the ground.
So good news, bad news.
And Veltris is lit up as well.
Sure.
All her armor.
I assume everyone in the party is glowing in some aspect at this point.
Well, the wagon would be too if you were in range. But that's okay.
It is a Christmas tree cosplay.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the only thing that would glow on Roman would be his holy symbol.
I wonder if Larkin, is there anything
have
going
the
on
sky
you?
self going on?
No, not right now.
Okay.
Larkin's star map might glow, which he has in a bag, but that's about it.
Sure. So good news, bad news. Good news. The keys are not magic.
And the bad news?
I don't know if it's bad exactly, but I sense some magic underneath us.
Where?
And I kind of like stand about over where I assume I can see it.
As you stand on it, you step, and Marisol hears the exact same hollow sound that she heard before the first time she walked into this building.
About right here.
The place that Indani was trying to find from underneath the stairs.
And I'm assuming I would know what spell he's casting. I also have the spell.
He's cast Detect Magic. I don't know. You do have the magic? Okay.
Yes, clerics get Detect Magic. I just haven't cast it before.
Okay.
So I'm assuming I would at least know what spell he cast, though.
You'd have a pretty good idea. I'm doing it kind of weird because I'm basically using my book like a metal detector.
Yeah, that's fair.
Little blips.
Yeah. Then I guess I would have the knowledge to ask what school of magic.
Yeah, you would have that knowledge for sure.
Okay. Ask him.
It was abjuration, right?
Conjuration.
Or was it conjuration? Conjuration.
And
Marisol.
Presumably something brought here. Or to bring something here.
What does that have? But what does that have to do with the sound? Or how can magic leave a I am so lost.
It's not worth getting into, I don't think. Just there's something below us. We should probably check it out.
We poked at that stone all day yesterday. There was nothing, no keyholes. Lifting it was impossible. And Donnie went behind the stairs looking for something. There's nothing there.
Could I quick take an investigation at this?
You can.
Maybe the keys needed to be present?
At Dirty 20, you're going to realize not all accesses to basements come from inside.
Alright. Do you have a cellar? Or a... what is it? Storm door? I think is the term.
an egress.
Sure. It's not something I've dealt with.
Do I, Wendy?
You're not aware of one.
Let's check outside at the very least. Check around the foundation of the building. See if you see anything that could get us in here. And Autumn's gonna start walking outside because, like, that's his logical next step here.
Yeah, for sure. And so with that investigation check, you do indeed start looking around the outdoor of the building. You go around to the back alley after examining a little bit of the front and just kind of kicking some of the outdoor planks to see if you could find anything that seems unusual. And towards the center of the back of the building, one of the planks you kick, you can actually hear a hollow sound from behind it.
Alright, I'm gonna see if I can, like, get that open.
Alright. Give me a strength check.
Alright. For Autumn to show off.
Ooh.
Yeah, you try to pry it apart, but it's been hammered
I
in
give
here.
up pretty quick.
Yeah.
I give up pretty quick. I get someone stronger.
Okay, who are you gonna
Right.
get?
I would assume someone's followed me out here,
Okay,
and anyone in the party is a better choice than I am.
I would agree
I-
with that.
I think
I would've-
Roman's the only one I'm not certain of.
I would have followed out.
I mean,
very
Veltris is
confused.
fairly strong, but currently I am incapable of pressing because my laptop died.
Okay,
Yikes, man.
so that's okay. We will
I-
get this going for you.
Closest
But yeah,
person to me,
Veltris will.
effectively.
Larkin's not strong. He would have followed, but can offer no assistance.
Okay, so
I can-
with advantage, we'll get Veltris to do this. And then Marisol, you're going to be right there to see what happens. With
Very
advantage,
confused, but yeah.
18, you, Veltris, with a little bit of help from Larkin, you're able to yank this plank off of the back of the building, and sure enough, you do see a bit of an egress in behind the plank and a ladder leading down.
Solved it.
I tried to glare at Odom, but I am too confused and too curious to bother. I'm like immediately stepping onto the ladder and going down.
All right. Marisol, I'm going to show you what you see then. Okay. Actually, hang tight. Let me get this fixed first. Alrighty. I think that covers that. Oh, there's still a surge there. That's why things are still looking. Okay. Alright. Here you go, Marisol. You can have a look-see.
For the
right
record,
there.
Autumn would like to follow. Just for
Okay.
the record.
There's not a lot of space, so Marisol, what you see as you get down to the bottom of this, it's not very tall. It's about 6 feet tall. So you know that it would be quite a squeeze in here, but there is a. You get down here and you see a door, and in this door you do see a lock, and that is where we're going to stop for the night.
Seriously, finally get answers, and it's like bye bye.
Those
Yeah.
darn cliffhangers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can I ask one thing?
Strike
Because I'm gonna
again.
forget by next session. Is this cultist that's in this room actually?
No,
Okay. Cool.
no, he's just
I'll-
beat the hell up.
All right. Yeah, I'll make sure he's sitting up in a chair at least, so that way he doesn't like. Actually, no. I'll leave him laying on the floor, but on his back. That way he doesn't break anything else.
For sure. Okay.
Because Roman's currently staying inside, making sure he doesn't do anything stupid, even though he's still manacled, I believe.
Gotcha. All right. Well then, with that, thank you guys for joining us, Stones of Faerûn. We'll be back here actually in 2 weeks, June 22nd, this time around. So thanks for joining us and have a great night.